and listen in.
All right, Grandpa, what's one piece of advice you have for me?
Just 3 words, sweetheart. Live with courage. The man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at StoryCorps Connect.org/AARP. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. A message from AARP, StoryCorps, and the Ad Council.
You could win car washes for an entire year with an unlimited Club Express exterior membership from Jack's Car Wash. Text keyword car wash to 800-859-0957 to be entered. That's keyword car wash as one word with no spaces to 800-859-0957. Standard message and data rates apply. For official rules and alternative entry, visit WJR.com. Wash your car as often as you want. The Jack's Unlimited Club. Plans start at $21.99.
This is the Detroit Lions Countdown to Kickoff on News Talk 760 WJR. Now from Lions Radio Central, here are Steve Courtney and Sean Baligian.
Well, my friends here in Detroit, and of course the great state of Michigan, it is a tradition that dates back to 1934. We're talking, of course, Lions football on Thanksgiving Day. Although this is the very first one taking place in a global pandemic. So there's that. But darn it, there's going to be football nonetheless, and we're going to count you down. That's why we're here in Lions Radio Central. I'm Steve Courtney, joined by my broadcast partner, the one, the only Sean Baligian.
Happy Thanksgiving, pal. It's a pleasure to be with you yet again. And let me echo what you said. It's still Thanksgiving. With everything going on around us, there's still a lot to be thankful for, and there's still football on this Thanksgiving Day. And
I say we get it out of the way immediately. Partner, what's your favorite pie?
You ask me this, and I'll tell you, I go back and forth. I hem, I haw. You know, I'm going to go with butterscotch cream pie. How's that?
Really?
You? Yes.
Man, that is a nice selection. Little off the board, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just going to go apple, okay? Boring, but there you have it. Now, here's the deal. Today's matchup marks the second Thanksgiving Day meeting between the Texans and the Honolulu Blue and Silver. You'll recall in Week 12 of the 2012 season, the Texans' only previous game on the holiday, wide receiver Andre Johnson, remember him? Registered 9 receptions for 188 yards, the second most receiving yards on Thanksgiving in National Football League history, while defensive end J.J. Watt, who we'll see a little bit later, recorded 3 sacks in Houston's 34-31 overtime win over the Lions. Now, it marked only the 5th game in league annals to go to overtime on Thanksgiving. How about Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford? He had a day in the losing effort, throwing for 441 yards in that tilt, tied for the 3rd most passing yards on the holiday in NFL history. And, you know, we know what's going on here with these two clubs. You've got the Texans, Sean, coming in at 3-7. The Lions with that despicable performance in Charlotte last Sunday, being shut out for the first time in some 11 years. They got a little rectifying to do today.
Yeah, great opportunity to do so. You know, Houston's been kind of up and down this year. I'll tell you what, one thing has remained consistent, and that's been Desean Watson for the last few weeks. He has looked like Desean Watson, so that's something that's going to terrify anybody coming off a really strong game. But boy, Steve, I go back to 2012. How on earth was that 8 years ago? I remember that game plain as day. And you know, I mean, that to me, Steve, that's the beauty of this day. You know, guys like us that have seen a few of these games, you know, you think about games of the past and everything, but that one, boy, that doesn't seem like 8 years ago. But let's fast forward to the present, and you're absolutely right. The Lions have to find a way to win this game. There's a lot at stake in this game, I'm afraid to say.
Well, you've got the Lions coming in right now at 4-6. And would you like it to be better? Of course you would. Look, this was a very negative week in Lions Nation. All sorts of speculation is swirling around. But you go back to what we witnessed in Charlotte 1 week ago in that shutout loss to the Panthers, Sean. The Lions offense, just not good. Not good at all. 185 total yards, 40 yards on the ground. They were 3 of 14 in third down conversions. Matthew Stafford, 18 of 33, 178 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, a rating of 70. He was also sacked 5 times. It was unbelievable what we witnessed, because I think one of the cornerstones of this Lions team was the offensive line play. Everything went south last Sunday.
Yeah, and Steve, I think what makes it even more of a head scratcher is the fact that it was the Carolina Panthers. I mean, this had been a defense that had been torched by everybody all season long. There wasn't like one number that you could look at and kind of hang your hat on and say, well, maybe it's not that bad. No, they had been a bad defense. So certainly a short turnaround to try to turn that around. We'll see what happens. Well,
5 of the Lions' last 6 opponents currently have losing records. The Lions went 3-3 in those games. Lo and behold, here are the 3-7 Texans. And by the way, your Detroit Lions are a home underdog. The Lions certainly beat up in that tilt against the Carolina Panthers. And guess what, folks? Not much better going into today. The Lions announcing that Big V up there on the O-line, he has gone on IR. They will be without. Just a sneak preview of the Lions injury situation. Danny Amendola, Austin Bryant, Mike Ford, Kenny Galladay going to miss another one. Deshaun Hand up on that defensive line. He is out. And cornerback Jeff Okudah battling a bad shoulder. He is out. Now, to add to that plot, Sean, we understand that Amani Oruwariye, who has, I think, been playing some pretty good ball of late, had the pick in Charlotte last week. He is listed as questionable with a bad back. So this Lions secondary could be in trouble today.
Yeah, and it's a bad week to do it because Desean Watson really has been on some kind of a tear. It's not the season anybody wanted down in Houston, make no mistake about it, but it looks like they're starting to find their mojo a little bit. Unless we forget, they're missing a couple of pretty big components on their offensive side of the ball as well in Cobb and Stills, but still finding a way to get things done. Missing a running back, but Duke Johnson has been filling in admirably. So it's going to be a stiff test today, Steve.
Well, indeed. And after the misery of the shutout loss against the Panthers to a man, this Lions team said, look, we just want to get back on the field and play the game the way it's supposed to be played. Well, lo and behold, the way it works in the National Football League, you got yourself a quick turnaround. Go out on the home field today, by the way, which will be completely empty. No 500 family and friends. Just go out and play the game.
Yeah, what's the old adage? You're only as good as your last game. They get an opportunity, Steve, to forget about what was really just an ugly performance on Sunday. There's no other way to categorize that. They get an opportunity today to do that on national television. I mean, let's face it, everybody's watching. You hear the guys talk about it all the time. There's still something magical about being the game, the one that everybody's watching, and Thanksgiving. So you have an opportunity to put the best foot forward.
Well, and you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm doing this broadcast with a heavy heart because it's Thanksgiving, for crying out loud. The nightcap has been postponed. The Ravens and Steelers have been moved to Sunday at 1:15 because of positive tests with the Baltimore Ravens. It's now, what do we do?
Yeah, Steve, you know what? First time since 2005, we just have, that which so many of us grew up with. And that's, the Detroit Lions being the appetizer, if you will, and the Cowboy game coming later in the afternoon. So, the NFL made that decision in 2006 to go to the triple header. You know what? I think it's worked. So many people here didn't like it because it was all about Detroit. It was all about Dallas. But I'll tell you what, I think the NFL hit a home run with this one. Only the 2 today.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving once again. Thanks for joining us here in Lions Radio Central. Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian, counting you down to the Lions and Texans. Hey, what else is going on with the Lions today?
We're 3 hours away from kickoff at Ford Field. For a preview of today, it's Lions Today. Here's Nick Roddy.
The Lions and Texans are getting ready to meet for just the 5th time in NFL history, and Houston leads the all-time series 3-1. These two teams have met on Thanksgiving Day before, 2012, in a 34-31 overtime victory for the Texans. We all know by now Detroit was shut out last week against the Carolina Panthers, but these Lions are ready to turn the page. And head coach Matt Patricia knows how eager quarterback Matthew Stafford is to get back on the field.
He's obviously a tremendous competitor. So I think even right after the game, having a conversation with him and just knowing, he just wants to get back out there and get going and go compete, understanding that we had a lot of work to do to clean up from last week. I thought he was, standing in the pocket. He was trying to get his reads. He was really pushing the team, the best visibility. And we got to rally around him in those situations and do a better job. And that's the beauty of football. It's a team game. So, everyone's got to go out and perform.
Standing across from number 9 will be one of the best players in the league, Texans defensive end J.J. Watt. And Stafford has the ultimate respect for the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year.
As disruptive of a player on the front as this league has seen in a long time. He's really physical in the run game, slippery, does a great job, not only getting after the quarterback, but batting footballs down and just has a great feel for the game. So I got a ton of respect for him. Played against him a few times and just know what kind of player he is. He's a special one up front.
Detroit's Thanksgiving Day tradition dates back to 1934. The NFL's first national broadcast. And left tackle Taylor Decker knows how important this game is.
It's our biggest game of the year. Like, we're going to be on national television. Like, Lions football on Thanksgiving is a tradition. We know everybody's going to be tuning into it. So it's going to be a blessing to, we've already turned the page and started working on Houston. And it's been nice to kind of like turn the page. All right, we collectively as a team didn't play well against the Carolina Panthers. But we can turn the page and we can go try to make the best of this Thursday game that we have, and it's coming quickly.
That's the Lions Today. I'm Nick Roddy.
There will be one Super Bowl champ crowned at the end of this year. That's it. That's a fact. And the fact is we got to come back and go to work. That's all we got to do.
For a closer look at the Houston Texans, here's Charting the Opposition, brought to you by Galling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Here's Chris Renwick.
The Texans have been through the ringer this year, and at 3-7 and third place in the AFC South, they've woefully missed the mark on their expectations for the 2020 season. And after 7 years at the helm, a 52-48 record and 4 division titles, Houston fired head coach and general manager Bill O'Brien after this year's 0-4 start. O'Brien made one of the most controversial trades in the offseason, if you'll remember, sending receiver DeAndre Hopkins to the Arizona Cardinals for running back David Johnson and a second-round pick. Now, many speculate that was the move that could have put O'Brien firmly on the hot seat. Now, fast forward to week 12, and the Texans have won 2 of their last 3. And defensive lineman J.J. Watt says their objective this week is clear. It's to win.
Obviously, to do that, we want to stop the run and then get after the quarterback. That's the formula for our success. We want to stop the run and then get after the quarterback. That's what we have to do to win football games.
Offensively, Houston ranks in the bottom half of the league in almost all important statistical categories. The bright spot, though, has been quarterback Desean Watson. Watson, who won the AFC Offensive Player of the Week award last week, went 28 for 37 for 344 yards and 2 touchdowns in a 27-20 win over New England. Now, Watson's averaging about 288 yards a game through the air, and his touchdown to interception ratio is good at 20-5. Now, defensively, they struggle in almost every facet. They're dead last in stopping the run, bottom third in stopping the pass, and give up an average of about 27 points per game. So look for the Lions offense to get right today against a vulnerable defense. That's a very special Thanksgiving edition of Charting the Opposition. I'm Chris Renwick.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. Hey, for your next tailgate this Lions season, make sure to visit Guernsey Farms Dairy in Northville. Their newly remodeled restaurant and ice cream parlor is open for carryout, and the dining room is open Friday through Sunday 4 until 9. Pre-order by visiting GuernseyFarmsDairy.com or find Guernsey's award-winning milk, ice cream, lemonade, and other dairy products in your local grocery store. Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian here in Lions Radio Central. Coming up after the break, a little college football preview. The initial college football playoff rankings came out. Did you know that? We'll talk about that and more. This is Lions Radio.
Paul W. Smith Mornings.
For regular celebrities, there are 2 terrible days. There's the first day when they go out and everywhere they go, as they walk around, there are cameras shooting pictures of them. And the second worst day, that's even worse than the first day, is when they go out and there's no one there. And let's face it, that is the truth.
Listen to Paul W. Smith. Then stick around for Frank Beckman, Rush Limbaugh, Guy Gordon, and Mitch Albom. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. After the game, come back to WJR for Paul W. Smith Mornings. Frank Beckman, 9 to noon. Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3. Guy Gordon from 3 to 5. And Mitch Albom, 5 to 7. After dark, it's Mark Levin and Michael Savage. Throw in the Lions and Michigan State football and basketball. With apologies to the Detroit Tigers, this is Detroit's best lineup. News Talk 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. The 25K Workday Payday on WJR is your shot at $100 10 times each weekday between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Just text the national keyword to 95819 for a chance to win. And if you get $100, you're in the running for 25K. Complete details and contest rules at WJR.com. The 25K Workday Payday on 760 WJR is sponsored by Wayne State University, where you're more than strong, you're warrior strong.
Hey Lions fans, want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Work can be anywhere these days, and nobody does anywhere like Detroit's WJR. Listen on your radio at 760 AM. Stream us at WJR.com or on your phone with the WJR app. Hear us on Alexa and Google Home smart speakers or with the TuneIn app on your radio smart speaker, your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. You can listen anywhere because WJR is everywhere. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Wrigley's has been a fan favorite since 1924. So when you're planning your next Lions tailgate party, ask the critical question. Is it Wrigley's? For more info, go to Wrigley's.com. That's Wrigley's.com.
Lions Radio 760 WJR.
The countdown is underway. Thanksgiving Day edition. Your Lions on Turkey Day playing host to the 3-7 Houston Texans. All the action right now going on in Lions Radio. Steve Courtney here, along with Sean Baligian. And this past Tuesday, the initial college football playoff rankings came out. Really no surprises, Sean. Number one, unbeaten Alabama at 7-0. Of course, one of the headlines this week, their fine head coach Nick Saban, this time around tests positive for COVID-19. He will be unavailable when Alabama hosts Auburn on Saturday night. So there's a development there. Apparently, the first one was a false positive. So there you go.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, Steve. Is this going to be another one of those years where a conference finds a way to get two teams in? One is going to assume that Clemson and Notre Dame, one might negate the other if the two should meet again on their current trajectory. So could this be a year where one of the conferences get two in? Could there be two ACC teams? Could there be two SEC teams? Could there be two Big Ten teams with Northwestern doing what they're doing? So it's going to be very intriguing. And what to say about the teams out of the Pac-12 that have only played 3 games. Right. So this is going to be really fun the next few weeks to see how this all transpires.
Going to be a little dicey being on the committee. That's all I know.
Big time. Big time.
Notre Dame at 8-0. They are number 2. Dabo Swinney, Clemson, they're 7-1. They occupy the 3rd spot. How about Dabo calling out Florida State? saying they wanted nothing to do with us last weekend, and that's why they canceled. They could have played. I think there was one or maybe two COVID positives, and that didn't go over well with Florida State. Rather dramatic anyway. And then the Ohio State Buckeyes at number 4. Sean, you talked about the Northwestern Wildcats. They occupy the 8th position. They are a perfect 5-0, and they will be in East Lansing Saturday, 3:30 kick. You got the Spartans just trying to find themselves. Conversation I had with head coach Mel Tucker earlier in the week. They're going to try and build defensively off shutting down that Indiana high-powered offense in the second half, albeit a loss. Coach Tucker is making it known, look, we've got to perform a little bit better here.
Yeah, you know what, Steve, at this point, you want to see progress. I mean, there's no doubt about it, and they have a great opportunity to see where they are in that progression against a Northwestern team that, I mean, let's face it, they look darn good against Wisconsin
sure did.
Last week. So this is, Steve, this is going to be a great opportunity, and I'll be sure to be listening to you, pal.
Well, thank you. Northwestern playing some defensive ball, are they not? And this is where ball security for Michigan State, which has been an issue, is certainly going to come into play. Northwestern good enough. They don't need any help. Meanwhile, Jim Harbaugh, the Michigan Wolverines, coming off that triple overtime win on the road at Rutgers last week, they are welcoming one of the bigger disappointments in all of college football, the Penn State Nittany Lions. That's a noon kick. Your thoughts? Do you have any?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's ugly with Penn State. You know, in week 1, if you remember, I mean, those many weeks ago now, people thought it was a fluke that Indiana knocked them off. But what we found out is Indiana's pretty good, and Penn State isn't. And this is an opportunity for Penn State to, I don't want to say salvage this season, but I'll tell you what, they can feel a lot better about themselves if they find a way to knock off Michigan, who, as you said, they got to be feeling at least better about themselves from that crazy game last Sunday or Saturday night.
No doubt about it. Well, here we are, Thanksgiving Day. Yeah, we've got NFL action, just the 2 games today. That means your fantasy rosters have still got to be filled out. If you need a little help, that's why my partner Sean is right here now.
Here's the Fantasy Football Report, brought to you by Hungry Howie's. Now get any 2 items from the Mix and Match menu for just $5.99 each. That's Hungry Howie's. Here's Sean Baligian.
Well, good morning and welcome to a Thanksgiving edition of your Fantasy Football Report. Hey, Desean Watson quietly is having a really good year. While the Texans are not, this guy has been on fire for a while now. You're going to want to keep him in your lineup against the Lions. There's no other way to say that. Yes, he's going to be without 2 guys. Randall Cobb, Kenny Stills are out, but Will Fuller has 6 touchdowns. He looks like a good start. How about former Lion Darren Fells at tight end in a tight end must-start lead? You know, as far as the Texans' run game goes, Duke Johnson isn't the same guy that he was a few years ago. Yeah, he still gets involved in the passing game a little bit, but I think there are better options out there. Now, as far as the Lions go, I think we all know the situation. A lot of inconsistency right now. Kenny Golladay, out. Danny Amendola, out. You looked at TJ Hawkinson, especially in those formats where you must start a tight end. DeAndre Swift, it sounds like it's a game time decision. You know the drill. If he goes, I think you should start him. If he doesn't go, boy, you really have to think about different options for every Lion. And I think that includes Matthew Stafford as well. I hope you and yours have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Good luck with your lineups this week. I'm Sean Baligian, and this is your Fantasy Football Report.
It's time for another page of the NFL Notebook, brought to you by Bill Brown Ford. Who's your Ford dealer? Here's Steve Courtney.
This 2020 National Football League season has been different, well, for many reasons. One of those, unfortunately, injuries to key personnel on various teams. Well, take last Sunday, for example. Bengals rookie quarterback Joe Burrow injured multiple ligaments in his left knee. Now, an MRI showed that the damage is a little bit more serious than earlier thought. The MRI showed Burrow tore the ACL, the MCL, and suffered other structural issues. This, according to head coach Zach Taylor, who at the beginning would not confirm the extent of the knee injury. Funny how the information comes out, though. Knee injuries of this particular nature usually will sideline a player anywhere from 9 to 12 months, though each player heals and rehabs a little bit differently. He has been a player in this his first year. He suffered the injury in the third quarter of last Sunday's 20-9 loss at Washington. Now, in his first 10 games, it should be noted, and by golly, we will, the rookie showed why he represents so much hope for a franchise that has not won a playoff game since January of 1991. Now, according to ESPN Stats and Information, Burrow ranks 4th in NFL history for the most passing yards in a player's first 10 games. That would be 2,688 yards, including his total, of course, from last Sunday's matchup. Now, at the halfway mark of the season, Burrow was on pace to break Andrew Luck's record for most passing yards by a rookie. That is 4,374. So another game, another marquee player goes down, and it truly is sad. But just listening to a little bit of Mr. Burrow, he is, confident young man, and I'm sure and certainly hoping that his rehab goes as planned. We can look forward to seeing him on that Bengals field next year. That's NFL Notebook. I'm Steve Courtney.
For a roundup of the Lions' NFC North rivals, here's Exploring the North with Chris Renwick.
While you set the table up for dinner, I'll get you ready for what's coming up this weekend. The third-place Vikings had their 3-game winning streak snapped on Sunday as they lost to the Cowboys 31-28, and now focus has shifted to Carolina. And there's an interesting tie-in to this game, and that's Teddy Bridgewater. Bridgewater was taken 32nd overall in the 2014 draft by Minnesota, and in 2016 blew out his knee effectively, ending his career in Minnesota. And the head coach Mike Zimmer echoed a lot of his player sentiments this week who were around when Bridgewater was in the Twin Cities. Great teammate and great attitude. But Zimmer says none of that really matters much this week because they're going to try to do what they can to get after him.
Yeah, well, obviously we do know him. He's with us here for a while, and then, our job is to go out there and try to figure out ways to beat him. Try to affect the quarterback. Try to do things that he's not prepared for.
Meanwhile, Dalvin Cook's cooled down just a little bit, but he's still getting his. Last week, Cook carried the rock on 27 of Minnesota's 29 rushing attempts last week, picking up 115 yards and 1 score in the effort. Kickoff from Minnesota-Carolina set for 1 o'clock on Sunday. We also have a big divisional matchup on Sunday between Chicago and Green Bay, the top 2 teams in the division. And one of Chicago's shortcomings on offense has been their run game this year. Tariq Cohen went down with a season-ending ACL tear back in week 3, and David Montgomery's been battling a concussion, but has cleared protocol, so he'll be good to go for Sunday. He says he's done some self-reflection to figure out what's gone wrong with the Bears' rushing attack.
You go back to trying to figure out what have you individually not done well. There's been a lot of things up to this week where I haven't done well enough to where I can help the guys up front and I can help myself. So I put full harness on myself, being able to go back and fix the things that I need to fix for myself. So just me going back out there, just figuring out what I need to do to get better and attacking it.
And the Bears need to get their run game sorted out. Chicago's offense enters Week 12 last in rushing yards, last in rushing touchdowns, and last in rushing first downs. Oh, and by the way, they're tied for last in yards per carry. Meanwhile, in Green Bay, head coach Matt LaFleur lays it out quite clearly for his guys. You better be ready to roll.
I feel like this is the best defensive unit we've played. So, our guys have got to be ready to play. Special teams, they're extremely dangerous. You look at Cordero Patterson, and then they got Anthony Miller now returning punts. And then offensively, there's weapons all over the field. And I know that they've struggled with some consistency issues, but you look at all the games that they've been able to come back in and being down double-digit points, they've got explosive players on offense. So our guys better be ready to play.
Kickoff for Packers-Vikings set for 8:20 Sunday night. That's Exploring the North. I'm Chris Renwick.
Now let's go around the league. Here's Michael Stats.
The Bengals were dealt a crushing blow in Week 11, losing rookie quarterback Joe Burrow for the remainder of the season after tearing the ACL and MCL ligaments in his left knee during the third quarter of the team's 20-9 loss to Washington. Burrow finished his rookie campaign with just over 2,600 passing yards, 13 touchdown passes, and 5 interceptions. Head coach Zach Taylor gave an update on Burrow earlier in the week.
Okay, so I'll start with, Joe Burrow suffered a left knee injury, and we expect him to have surgery and rehab and make a full recovery and be ready for the 2021 season. And that's really all the information I have on that one. He's been in great spirits on the bus, on the plane, in the facility today. He's responded as well as he could possibly do it, and we've all noticed that. So we'll also bring up to the 53-man today Brandon Allen and Quentin Spain.
Ryan Finley came on in relief for the injured Burrow last week. He completed 3 passes, threw an interception, and was sacked 5 times, but he won't get the start this week against the visiting 3-7 New York Giants. It was reported on Wednesday that Brandon Allen would get the start against New York this week. Allen was drafted out of Arkansas in the 6th round of the 2016 draft by Jacksonville. He's also spent time with the Los Angeles Rams and Denver Broncos, where he started 3 games in 2019.
The Green Bay Packers.
Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers, a regular guest on the Pat McAfee show, engaged in a fun conversation this week about quarterbacks in the NFL not named Patrick Mahomes, who can make no-look and other types of difficult passes. Lions fans will be pleased to hear which quarterback Rodgers praised the most.
He wears number 9 and plays in Detroit. Okay. That dude, what he does with the ball, it's impressive. It's really, really impressive. And, I know Dan Orlovsky will highlight some stuff from time to time, sure, because they play together and they're good friends, which he should. But that dude's throwing crazy no-lookers all the time. And he can throw from any arm angle. I don't think he gets, maybe it's Detroit, maybe it's, based on, they haven't,
They lost 20 to nothing to the Panthers. They just lost 20 to nothing to the Panthers. I mean, that's.
I know. But they had some guys out, Pat. Let's take it easy.
The Baltimore Ravens.
Unfortunately, it wouldn't be 2020 without a report on how COVID-19 has negatively affected another team in the NFL. Tonight's originally scheduled Baltimore Ravens and Pittsburgh Steelers matchup has now been pushed to Sunday due to a number of positive COVID-19 tests within the Ravens organization, including running backs Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins, who both tested positive at the start of the week, and also several Ravens staffers. The Ravens are assuredly in a very difficult spot this week, but tight end Mark Andrews said he remains confident in his team against the 10-0 Steelers.
This is still a very talented football team, and it's people are starting to count us out, and that's fine. Our back's up against the wall, and we got a lot of good character guys on this team that are going to fight their way through this. And so I don't lack any confidence in our ability and what we can do in this last stretch of the season. So I'm excited to go show the world what we can do, and we'll see how this all plays out, but I'm confident.
That's this week's Around the League. I'm Michael Stetz.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. Appreciated. Happy Thanksgiving once again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for having us in your home as you're preparing the feast. Hopefully that is the case. Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian with you here in Lions Radio. The Lions, they're a banged up football team still going into this tilt with the Texans, and apparently, according to reports, it's only getting worse. We'll have the injury report and our chat with Tori Petrie from DetroitLions.com. Leave it here. This is Lions Radio.
WJR, Detroit. Text the national keyword WIN now to 51819 760 WJR, your 25K workday payday station. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Work can be anywhere these days, and nobody does anywhere like Detroit's WJR. Listen on your radio at 760 AM. Stream us at WJR.com or on your phone with the WJR app. Hear us on Alexa and Google Home smart speakers or with the TuneIn app on your radio smart speaker, your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. You can listen anywhere because WJR is everywhere. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Paul W. Smith Mornings.
For regular celebrities, there are two terrible days. There's the first day when they go out, and everywhere they go, as they walk around, there are cameras shooting pictures of them. And the second worst day, that's even worse than the first day, is when they go out and there's no one there. And let's face it, that is the truth.
Listen to Paul W. Smith. Then stick around for Frank Beckman, Rush Limbaugh, Guy Gordon, and Mitch Albom. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. After the game, come back to WJR for Paul W. Smith Mornings. Frank Beckman, 9 to noon. Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3. Guy Gordon from 3 to 5. And Mitch Albom, 5 to 7. After dark, it's Mark Levin and Michael Savage. Throw in the Lions and Michigan State football and basketball. With apologies to the Detroit Tigers, this is Detroit's best lineup. News Talk 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760
pizza with flavored crust
WJR.
that's so famous for flavor, their motto is famous for flavor. And a meal deal fit for any family starting at just $5.99. Taste it in 4D today. Hungry?
Howie's! News Talk 760 WJR.
For the record, this injury report is brought to you by the Henry Ford Health System, the official healthcare provider of your Detroit Lions. Call 1-800-HENRY-FORD or visit henryford.com/teamdocs. Oh boy, here we go. We begin with this. The Lions have placed up there on the offensive line Big V on IR, not going on this Thanksgiving Day tilt with the Houston Texans. Wide receiver Danny Amendola, defensive end Austin Bryant, cornerback Mike Ford, wide receiver Kenny Galladay, still bothered by the hip. He will not go. Up on the defensive line, Deshaun Hand. He's got a bad groin, and this one doesn't help. Jeff Okudah, fine young cornerback. He's got a bad shoulder. It will prevent him from playing today. Now, the plot thickens. Adam Schefter, ESPN's own, reporting that running back DeAndre Swift, battling that concussion, will not be able to go today. Wait a minute. I'm not done. Another cornerback, Amani Oruwariye. He's got a bad back. He is questionable. So is linebacker Reggie Ragland. Happy to report number 9, Matthew Stafford, battling that right thumb. Full practice yesterday, so he is good to go. Let's bring on our friend, Tori Petrie, DetroitLions.com. Get down to the bottom of this mess. Tori, first of all, happy Thanksgiving to you.
Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. I'm healthy and ready to go. Does that count for anything today?
Of course it does, because it's Thanksgiving, for crying out loud.
Can you play in the slot, Tori? Can we line you up in the slot?
Hey, I am a former corner, so I I can play slot corner, maybe not slot receiver.
Well, you know what? I'm just going to put this as People's Exhibit A. The Lions banged up 1 week ago in Charlotte. We were hoping anybody would step up on that offensive side of the ball. Tori, they only had 185 total yards against a very questionable Panthers defense, 40 yards on the ground. Quite frankly, it has to improve.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Lions were banged up last week in Carolina, but so were the Panthers. So you really can't put that one on injuries because both sides of the ball were dealing with injuries of their own, and the Panthers were without their starting quarterback and starting running back. And, if anybody was at a disadvantage because of injuries, you got to say that the Panthers were. But here the Lions come into Thanksgiving banged up yet again, but they have got to be able to find somebody to step up on offense because that offense was shut out last week. It's not how you want to perform. I know that they're ready to get the taste out of their mouths and play well on Thanksgiving today. The Lions have some proven guys that are still out there on offense day. Obviously, you still have number 9. You still have guys like Marvin Jones Jr., TJ Hawkinson, Adrian Peterson. These are all good players who have produced in this league. So someone should be able to step up this week.
Tori, it's been a few days of upheaval. Make no mistake about it, on and off the field. Rumor, speculation, innuendo. I'm not going to get into any of that. But what I will ask you is, what is the mentality of this team? You're around this team as much as anybody. Talk to these guys as much as anybody. What's the mentality of this team right now?
Nobody says the phrase, we just take it one game at a time more than this team. And I really think that they believe that. They really are just trying to take this one game at a time. They really laid an egg last week in Carolina. They were very disappointed with the performance, and they want to turn things around today. They are looking at this as a one-game season. They are putting last week behind them, and they are trying to get things back on track. The Lions own this Thanksgiving Day game after all. They want to be able to celebrate it well. Everybody knows the turkey tastes better when the Lions win on Thanksgiving, so that's what they're aiming for today.
Not sure what kind of a running game we're going to see by either team today. When you take a look at them statistically there, Tori, running the ball, Houston, well, they're 31st. Lions not much better at 29th. When you've got Desean Watson leading a passing attack in the NFL that is ranked 8th, why bother running?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how Houston's offense works. They really rely on Desean Watson, but we know Matt Patricia's philosophy is he wants to stop the run first and he wants to run the ball first. Now, keep in mind that this Texans defense has ranked at the bottom of the league in stopping the run all season long. They had a decent week against the run last week, probably helped them move up to 31st instead of 32nd. But, it's not like this is a team that's been good at stopping the run. So I think the Lions are really going to try and harp the run game today with Adrian Peterson, Kerryon Johnson, whoever they feel like has got the hot hand today. So I do expect the Lions to really try and run the ball against this Texans defense.
It hasn't been an easy season for this Texans team, again, on and off the field. But I'll tell you what, Tori, it's almost flying under the radar how well Desean Watson's been playing for weeks now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is the number one thing that you have to know when you play this Texans team is how good Desean Watson is. He hasn't really gotten a lot of the national spotlight because his team isn't winning games. They only have 3 wins so far this season. So when you have a team like that with a really good quarterback, people don't really talk about your quarterback as much. But Desean Watson is a very good quarterback. He can hurt you with his legs as well. But he is going to try and throw downfield, and he's got some really great weapons on that Texans offense. So, I mean, that really is going to be a challenge for these cornerbacks today, especially an injured group. I mean, we'll be paying attention to inactives when they come out to see how Amani Oruwariye is doing because he came into this game as questionable. Obviously, they're missing Jeff Okudah, and they like to rotate their corners in and out there. They won't be able to do that today with Okudah, and we can hope that Amani Oruwariye is able to be out there.
Hear, hear. Tori, thank you very much again. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.
Happy Thanksgiving to you guys.
All right, Tori Petrie from DetroitLions.com. As she alluded to, inactives coming out at 11 o'clock, and we will have them for you. Not to mention, our own Michael Stetz had a sit-down with Mark Vandermeer. He is the play-by-play voice of the Houston Texans. Give you that perspective and more coming up. This is Lions Radio. Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Paul W. Smith Mornings.
For regular celebrities, there are two terrible days. There's the first day when they go out, and everywhere they go, as they walk around, there are cameras shooting pictures of them. And the second worst day, that's even worse than the first day, is when they go out and there's no one there. And let's face it,
That is the truth. Listen to Paul W. Smith. Then stick around for Frank Beckman, Rush Limbaugh, Guy Gordon, and Mitch Albom. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. The 25K Workday Payday on WJR is your shot at $100 10 times each weekday between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Just text the national keyword to 95819 for a chance to win. And if you get $100, you're in the running for 25K. Complete details and contest rules at WJR.com. The 25K Workday Payday on 760 WJR is sponsored by Wayne State University, where you're more than strong, you're warrior strong.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. After the game, come back to WJR for Paul W. Smith Mornings. Frank Beckman, 9 to noon. Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3. Guy Gordon from 3 to 5. And Mitch Albom, 5 to 7. After dark, it's Mark Levin and Michael Savage. Throw in the Lions and Michigan State football and basketball. With apologies to the Detroit Tigers, this is Detroit's best lineup. News Talk 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on
We're committed to a
760
future where
WJR.
affordable, reliable energy doesn't contribute to climate change. Because to lead, we have to do what's right. Learn more at DTECleanEnergy.com. DTE.
Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Just so you know, the Sam Bernstein Law Firm is the official legal team of the Detroit Lions Radio Network, Michigan's first family of law. 1-800-CALL-SAM. It has been a season of turmoil for the Houston Texans. I'm sure that will be discussed in the conversation you're about to hear. Mark Vandermeer is the play-by-play voice of the Houston Texans. He sits down with our own Michael Stets. Conversation went a little like this.
We head now to the opposing sideline to get a closer look at today's opponent. We bring on the voice of the Texans, Mark Vandermeer of the Texans Radio Network. Mark, how are you?
I'm doing great, Michael. Looking forward to the games Thursday. I almost said Sunday.
Thanksgiving Day, huh? The last time these two hooked up was 2012 and had that crazy Justin Forsett play where he was down, he wasn't down, no review, the whole deal. So it's been a while since these two have hooked up on Turkey Day.
Absolutely. And I remember the last matchup also in 2016 and Brock Osweiler playing for the Texans. Look, I think it's going to be really interesting. I love playing on Thanksgiving. I think it's such a great tradition. I know all the fans of Michigan know about it. 8 years ago was a long time. Watt played in that game for the Texans. Whitney Merciless, John Weeks, the long snapper. But That's about it. Everybody else was in high school or something.
Unbelievable. Well, the big win for the Texans last week. They've had their struggles like the Lions have had their struggles, but a big win over the Pats, 27-20. What went right in that game to get them the W?
Well, they stopped the run. They really slowed them down on the ground, and it's been really difficult for the Texans to do that this year. They did it well through 3 quarters against Cleveland. 4th quarter, the dam broke. Week before against Jacksonville, rookie running back Josh Robinson has 99 yards, but they win the game. And 99, it wasn't a devastating 99. So they got to continue to do well against the run. They threw the ball very well. Desean Watson is looking good right now. The problem, and I think it's the biggest problem for the Texans this year, is they have not been able to run the ball the way they like to. In recent years, the Bill O'Brien era, they've always been a solid running team, maybe not elite, but solid, and it's really helped out the quarterback situation. This year, it's been a passing game type of offense. They don't abandon the run. Watson's playing well, but all too often they haven't been able to sustain drives early, and it's cost them with late deficits and a lot of losses.
And how has life been without DeAndre Hopkins, and how is it seeing him thrive there with Arizona and Kyler Murray, knowing that he could be thriving with Houston and how it was in the past with Watson?
It did not go down well with the fans when it happened, and I thought, okay, let's see it play out. What are they going to get? And they got Brandon Cooks and Randall Cobb, and Will Fuller's been healthy all year long. They do have a tremendous stable of wide receivers. They do. Now, Hopkins is absolutely one of the top 2 or 3 guys in the league. There's no doubt. So people miss him. I mean, you traded away a player in his prime, and that doesn't feel good to the fans. They still have plenty of guys to catch the football, but you miss them, especially since you're losing now, and with him you were winning, so you wonder, was that the difference? I personally think Hopkins is awesome, but I don't think he's the difference in what's going on with them now negatively. I still think it's the running game, and I think defensively, obviously, it's been difficult against the run, especially from the get-go. They're improving lately.
Yeah, and you mentioned Fuller's health, man. He has been healthy this year, and when he's on his game, getting down the field, he's a burner. I mean, he can absolutely wreck a game. It's certainly been advantageous for him to be healthy this year. Has there been more of a connection with Fuller kind of taking on that role in Hopkins' absence?
I think that with DeAndre's absence, or not, I mean, when Hopkins was here, Watson and Fuller have a great chemistry. I mean, they almost always connect for a touchdown when they're on the field together. They almost always connect for a big play. There's just something about him. And Fuller has really developed his skill set. He's not just a burner. He can do that, but he can turn on a dime. He's a tremendous route runner. He takes a lot of pride in that part of the game. And I think that you're looking at a guy really coming into his own here. It's a contract year for him, so good for him. Tough for the Texans trying to keep him, but we'll see how that all works out in the offseason. He's a real dangerous player.
The defense has had its issues during the season, but J.J. Watt still a force on the D-line. You have Merciless there, and I know Justin Reed in the secondary has played well as of late. He's really stepped it up the last couple of weeks. Tell me a little bit more about the defensive side of the ball.
They have Watt, which is the kind of player you want because he's the only player on this defense really that makes opposing offensive coordinators stay up late at night thinking about how are we going to stop him from getting into the backfield or whatever. Watt makes so many game-changing plays. And, Gary Kubiak once said, he's kind of like a quarterback where if you need a big play, he's going to make it for you. And that's happened so many times throughout the Watt era for the Houston Texans. And it's another real thorn in the side, really, when you look at the Texans' record and you see a healthy Fuller and a healthy Watson and a healthy Watt, and they're not able to have the kind of record that they envision. It really stinks that way. But defensively, to answer your overall question, even though they have Watt, they haven't been able to get enough heat on the quarterback overall throughout the entirety of the season. And in the secondary, it's been tough because when you can't get the pass rush, often the coverage is going to suffer, and it's a chicken and egg thing, but you kind of need both to go hand in hand. They do have good linebackers. Benardrick McKinney's out for the year, but Zach Cunningham and Terrell Adams are playing well inside. It's an interesting bunch. I think it'll be a real interesting matchup because I know Detroit sometimes has trouble protecting the quarterback, so we'll see if the Texans can get after Stafford. It should be intriguing.
Any particular matchup on either side of the ball you're looking forward to?
Well, I just think Stafford's fascinating because I don't know how the people in Detroit look at it, but he's a very likable guy as well at quarterback, and he's from Texas, of course. But I look at 4 winning seasons or whatever it is since 2009. It's not all his fault, of course. Look how many coaches and coordinators have been through there. But I think he's a latter-day Archie Manning. I think that he's a really good quarterback on a team that has struggled very often. And, I loved Jim Caldwell because I used to work in the Penn State area, and I worked with Jim's kid on a basketball team when Jim was an assistant there. I thought he did a pretty good job. I mean, it's funny how we sort of run from success sometimes. How would you like 9-7 right now? It seems pretty good. Not that that's the be-all, end-all.
Sure.
But it's been a rough go for Stafford. I'm just looking forward to seeing how the Texans match up with him, if they can get after him. I think it's going to be difficult because when he's on, man, he throws lasers, and he's tough to stop.
Absolutely. And last one for you, Mark. Appreciate your time. Just as a broadcaster, play-by-play man, what is calling a game on Thanksgiving mean to you?
It's such a tradition, and it's a day where it's different than anything else. I think it's really unique. We have Thursday night games, we have Monday night games. You've played on Christmas and Christmas Eve, but Thanksgiving is such a captive audience, and everybody's paying attention. And I just think Detroit, Dallas, these traditional games are so important to the league. And I think they're important to America. And I think a lot of people in Texas were really upset when they pulled the Longhorn and Aggie game away from Thanksgiving. Now it doesn't even exist at all, which is insane. I think you got to keep these traditions. The NFL is the campfire of the United States. I mean, people gather around, and that's why the league is so successful. You got to keep these things around, and it means a lot to me to be a part of it. I love coming back to Michigan. I was the voice of the Chippewas in the early 90s. I love Michigan. I love this radio station, by the way. It's such an honor to be on WJR.
I appreciate the time. Look forward to your call today. Best of luck to you. Stay safe in a crazy season. Here we are, week 12.
All right. Well, I really appreciate it, Michael. Thank you.
You got it. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks. You too. Happy Thanksgiving.
There he goes, the voice of the Texans, Mark Vandermeer. We send it back now to Steve Courtney and Sean Baligian.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. And thank you very much to the voice of the Texans, Mark Vandermeer. We talked about number 9, Matthew Stafford being the Texan. And I want to talk to you, Sean, about the comments of one Aaron Rodgers as they apply to number 9. I'm sure that had to make Matthew feel good.
Yeah, it's interesting. And you just heard the voice of the Texans say the same thing. There is a complete different perspective outside of our area of Matthew Stafford than is in our area. All the back and forth about what Matthew Stafford is and what he isn't, that doesn't seem to take place in other places. And let's be honest, Aaron Rodgers isn't one to exactly throw compliments
No, he
around,
is not.
Okay?
Not at all.
Let's be perfectly blunt there. So for him to say that, that made the eyebrow burrow up a little bit, Steve. I was shocked at that, especially coming from that source.
If you don't know what we're alluding to, earlier in the week in an interview with former NFL player Pat McAfee, Aaron Rodgers said that, quite frankly, Matthew Stafford is very, very underrated and does some very special things. So there you have it. Don't go away. Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian here with you. Happy Thanksgiving. More of the countdown coming up in the moments ahead. Don't go away. This is Lions Radio.
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Paul W. Smith Mornings.
For regular celebrities, there are 2 terrible days. There's the first day when they go out, and everywhere they go, as they walk around, there are cameras shooting pictures of them. And the second worst day, that's even worse than the first day, is when they go out and there's no one there. And let's face it,
That is the truth. Listen to Paul W. Smith. Then stick around for Frank Beckman, Rush Limbaugh, Guy Gordon, and Mitch Albom. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. After the game, come back to WJR for Paul W. Smith Mornings. Frank Beckman, 9 to noon. Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3. Guy Gordon from 3 to 5. And Mitch Albom, 5 to 7. After dark, it's Mark Levin and Michael Savage. Throw in the Lions and Michigan State football and basketball. With apologies to the Detroit Tigers, this is Detroit's best lineup. News Talk 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Hey, Lions fans, want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Work can be anywhere these days, and nobody does anywhere like Detroit's WJR. Listen on your radio at 760 AM. Stream us at WJR.com or on your phone with the WJR app. Hear us on Alexa and Google Home smart speakers or with the TuneIn app. On your radio smart speaker, your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. You can listen anywhere because WJR is everywhere. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
The 25K Workday Payday on WJR is your shot at $100 10 times each weekday between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Just text the national keyword to 95819 for a chance to win. And if you get $100, you're in the running for 25K. Complete details and contest rules at WJR.com. The 25K Workday Payday on 760 WJR is sponsored by Wayne State University, where you're more than strong, you're warrior strong.
To get away. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. It's a new day. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com.
This is the Detroit Lions Countdown to Kickoff on the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Countdown to Kickoff is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, Ford Motor Company, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, Wallside Windows, Rinaldi Sausage, Galling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, DTE Energy, McLaren Healthcare, Hungry Howie's, Bill Brown Ford, Oxford Recovery Center, Guernsey Farms Dairy, the Children's Foundation, Henry Ford Medical Group, Senior Financial Center, Wigley's Famous Eastern Market Corned Beef, Must Construction Careers, and Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Now, from Lions Radio Central, here are Steve Courtney and Sean Baligian.
Well, there is just no doubt about it, folks. This is going to be a different Thanksgiving, the first one ever during a stupid global pandemic. Hopefully you and yours are well as we get things going here on the countdown. You know, one thing that is not going to change, and it has been a tradition since 1934, that is Detroit Lions football. You got the Houston Texans at Ford Field today, and that's what we're talking about. By golly, Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian with you here in Lions Radio Central. Happy Thanksgiving to you, partner.
Right back to you and yours. And Steve, you're absolutely right. If you're listening to this right now, this is part of your DNA. There's no other way to say that. The Lions, Thanksgiving, they go hand in hand. It's all we've known our entire lifetime. And with everything going on in the world, I'm thankful that at least we have that today.
Well, you know, here's the deal. The Houston Texans, it has been an ordeal this season. Bill O'Brien, their longtime head coach, relieved of his duties. Romeo Crennel, I think he got into this league in 1928. He has been the interim head coach. There's been some things that have gone sideways. What we know, they're coming off a win against the New England Patriots. They're a 3-7 ball club, and their fine quarterback, Desean Watson, you talk about athletic. He is throwing at just under 70%. He has thrown for 20 touchdowns. He has only thrown 5 interceptions. And my question to you, Sean, has he really wrapped his head around the DeAndre Hopkins trade yet?
Oh, I can't imagine that he has. And, you know, look, there's still some weapons there from the receiving core. He's missing 2, but they still have some guys that you have to look out for. But, I mean, look, Steve, there was a reason that everybody pounded Bill O'Brien when that deal was made. And there has been absolutely nothing to show that everybody was wrong. Sometimes the masses are wrong, and this one just a bad football deal. So they had to move on. There's no doubt about that. And there's a little bit of that going on with the Lions this week. After the ugly loss, no other way to say it, the ugly loss on Sunday, this Lion team has to move forward as well.
Well, it was 1 week ago. We were talking about how banged up the Lions were going into that Carolina tilt. It didn't end up well, folks. Not at all. Lions generating 185 yards of total offense, just 40 yards on the ground. And in third down conversions, 3 of 14. Now, the reason I mention this, and by the way, emphasize it, kind of a similar situation going into the Texans tilt because, first of all, the inactives will be out coming up in about 27 minutes, 11 o'clock on this Thanksgiving morning. Meanwhile, Danny Amendola is out. Kenny Golladay will not go, still bothered by that bad hip. He is out. And we are receiving word, Adam Schefter, ESPN Zone, saying that DeAndre Swift, he had limited practice yesterday, listed originally as questionable, but Adam Schefter saying that DeAndre Swift will not be able to go. So basically what you're looking at is a mirror of last Sunday in Charlotte. Somebody, anybody, step up and make a play.
Well, and Steve, you know what? This is the team that you have to do it against. In a perfect world, this is a team that has been run on left and right. In a perfect world, you would control the ball. You would keep Desean Watson off the field. And this would be a quick game for everybody and end in a Lion victory. But right now, what you're seeing is DeAndre Swift is clearly been the best option. Is this the week that Adrian Peterson turns back the clock, or even Kerryon Johnson turns back the clock? The Lions desperately need one of those guys to step up this week.
Well, and there is a unit of focus for this Lions team going into the Texans tilt. That would be the offensive line. Throughout this season, we have talked about that group being a strength of this ball club. Taylor Decker allowing his first sack in 11 months in that shutout loss a week ago. Matthew Stafford was sacked 5 times, but he was under pressure a heck of a lot more. This Lions offensive line has a lot to prove, and to a man, I think they'll do just that today.
Yeah, they better do that because, look, there are already enough things working against the Lions. Make sure that you take it personal. What happened last week? And Lions, to a man, should take it personal. It really was that ugly. This would be the week to flex the muscle and say, we're not going down like that.
Nothing but out-and-out respect for J.J. Watt, the way he has gone about playing this game at a very high level, probably at great sacrifice to his body. He is not the same J.J. Watt that he was 2-3 years ago. He is still a formidable force. But again, much like last week going into the Panther tilt, this defense for the Houston Texans, statistically, and you name a category, not all that sound. You're hoping that the Lions will find a way to exploit that today.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Steve. This is a situation where I'll just reiterate, specifically on the run. If they can get that run game going, keep Desean off the field, that is really going to bode well for the Lions, and it's going to make things happen for Matthew Stafford, who, again, is missing a couple of his key components as well. So unquestionably, Steve, this is a defense that can be had. Is this the offense that can have them? We'll find out.
All right, today's matchup, by the way, marks the second Thanksgiving Day meeting between the Texans and Lions. You'll recall in Week 12 of the 2012 season, the Texans' only previous game on Thanksgiving, wide receiver Andre Johnson registered 9 receptions for 188 yards, the second most receiving yards on Thanksgiving in NFL history, while defensive end, the aforementioned J.J. Watt, recorded 3 sacks in Houston's 34-31 overtime win over the Lions. Matthew Stafford had a ball game in that loss, throwing for 441 yards, tied for the third most passing yards on Thanksgiving in NFL history. It'd be nice if he even came close to that today. Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian here with you. Happy Thanksgiving once again. More coming up for you via the countdown, such as what else is going on with the Lions today.
We're 2 hours away from kickoff at Ford Field for a preview of today. It's Lions Today. Here's Nick Roddy.
The Lions and Texans are getting ready to meet for just the 5th time in NFL history, and Houston leads the all-time series 3-1. These two teams have met on Thanksgiving Day before, 2012 in a 34-31 overtime victory for the Texans. We all know by now Detroit was shut out last week against the Carolina Panthers, but the Lions are ready to turn the page. And head coach Matt Patricia knows how eager quarterback Matthew Stafford is to get back on the field.
He's obviously a tremendous competitor. So I think even right after the game, having a conversation with him and just knowing, he just wants to get back out there and get going and go compete, understanding that we had a lot of work to do to clean up from last week. I thought he was, standing in the pocket. He was trying to get his reads. He was really pushing the team, the best visibility. And we got to rally around him in those situations and do a better job. And that's the beauty of football. It's a team game. So, everyone's got to go out and perform.
Standing across from number 9 will be one of the best players in the league, Texans defensive end J.J. Watt. And Stafford has the ultimate respect for the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year.
As disruptive of a player on the front as this league has seen in a long time. He's really physical in the run game, slippery, does a great job, not only getting after the quarterback, but batting footballs down and just has a great feel for the game. So I got a ton of respect for him. Played against him a few times and just know what kind of player he is. He's a special one up front.
Detroit's Thanksgiving Day tradition dates back to 1934, the NFL's first national broadcast. And left tackle Taylor Decker knows how important this game is.
It's our biggest game of the year. Like, we're going to be on national television. Like, Lions football on Thanksgiving is a tradition. We know everybody's going to be tuning into it. So it's going to be a blessing to, we've already turned the page and started working on Houston. And it's been nice to kind of like turn the page. All right, we collectively as a team didn't play well against the Carolina Panthers. But we can turn the page and we can go try to make the best of this Thursday game that we have, and it's coming quickly.
That's the Lions Today. I'm Nick Roddy.
There will be one Super Bowl champ crowned at the end of this year. That's it. That's a fact. And the fact is we got to come back and go to work. That's all we got to do.
For a closer look at the Houston Texans, here's Charting the Opposition. Brought to you by Galling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Here's Chris Renwick.
The Texans have been through the ringer this year, and at 3-7 and third place in the AFC South, they've woefully missed the mark on their expectations for the 2020 season. And after 7 years at the helm, a 52-48 record and 4 division titles, Houston fired head coach and general manager Bill O'Brien after this year's 0-4 start. O'Brien made one of the most controversial trades in the offseason, if you'll remember, sending receiver DeAndre Hopkins to the Arizona Cardinals for running back David Johnson and a second-round pick. Now, many speculate that was the move that could have put O'Brien firmly on the hot seat. Now, fast forward to week 12, and the Texans have won 2 of their last 3. And defensive lineman J.J. Watt says their objective this week is clear. It's to win.
Obviously, to do that, we want to stop the run and then get after the quarterback. That's the formula for our success. We want to stop the run and then get after the quarterback. That's what we have to do to win football games.
Offensively, Houston ranks in the bottom half of the league in almost all important statistical categories. The bright spot, though, has been quarterback Desean Watson. Watson, who won the AFC Offensive Player of the Week award last week, went 28 for 37 for 344 yards and 2 touchdowns in a 27-20 win over New England. Now, Watson's averaging about 288 yards a game through the air, and his touchdown to interception ratio is good at 20-5. Now, defensively, they struggle in almost every facet. They're dead last in stopping the run, bottom third in stopping the pass, and give up an average of about 27 points per game. So look for the Lions offense to get right today against a vulnerable defense. That's a very special Thanksgiving edition of Charting the Opposition. I'm Chris Renwick.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving to you, my friend. Meanwhile, Wallside Windows is the official window company of the Detroit Lions radio network. We can do that. We are the factory. Well, certainly the pandemic has caused major changes in the way NFL teams go about their business. The Detroit Lions certainly not the exception. Lots of responsibility falling on their longtime equipment manager, Timmy O'Neill. We'll walk you through the special protocols that Timmy and his staff have put into place. I'll chat with Mr. Tim O'Neill coming up in the moments ahead. This is Lions Radio.
Make sure you visit
The
Detroit
25K Workday Payday on WJR is your shot at $100 10 times each weekday between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Just text the national keyword to 95819 for a chance to win. And if you get $100, you're in the running for $25K. Complete details and contest rules at WJR.com. The 25K Workday Payday on 760 WJR is sponsored by Wayne State University, where you're more than strong, you're warrior strong. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Work can be anywhere these days, and nobody does anywhere like Detroit's WJR. Listen on your radio at 760 AM. Stream us at WJR.com or on your phone with the WJR app. Hear us on Alexa and Google Home smart speakers or with the TuneIn app on your radio smart speaker, your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. You can listen anywhere because WJR is everywhere. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
W Team. From traditional electrical to the most intricate new technologies. Connect with us for your next project at poweringmichigansfuture.com.
News Talk 760 WJR.
Well, the clock is ticking. That's because we are counting you down to the Lions and Houston Texans special Thanksgiving Day edition. Steve Courtney here with you, and we have our Lions profile brought to you by Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. It's a new day. Well, good friend Timmy O'Neill entering his 18th season as the Lions head equipment manager, the 25th season, as a matter of fact, in the National Football League. Now, just to refresh your memory, Timmy originally joined the Lions back in 2002 and served as the assistant equipment manager for 2 seasons before being promoted by the club to that head equipment manager position in 2004. His job has changed a great deal. Let's find out how. Timmy, how are you?
Doing good, Steve. Doing good. How about yourself?
Everything is well. You and the family holding up well in these difficult conditions, Tim?
Yes, we are. I mean, feel fortunate. We've gotten through this, healthy and all that, but looking forward to getting on the other side of this. But yeah, everything has been good so far, and I sure hope the same for you.
Well, you know what? We've had several conversations over the years, Tim, and your job has a lot of responsibility. There's no question. You oversee the planning, coordination, and the direction of all the team's daily athletic operations, the equipment. And how has COVID changed your responsibilities and your staff, Tim?
Well, I mean, one of the things is, with the league protocols, there's only, there's a maximum amount of numbers that can be around the players. So we've had to reduce our staff by two people. So we're actually have more steps in the process of getting done what we need to get done with less guys. So it's been a heavier load and a heavier lift for not just me, but all my guys. And truthfully, they do a lot more of that heavy lifting than I do. So I'm really fortunate to have them. But, things we haven't done in the past, like sanitizing footballs every day. We were doing weekly sanitization of helmets and shoulder pads, but a lot of that is now daily, Wow. So things like that. When we go on the road, we normally rely on the visiting clubhouse staff. The home team provides a group of guys, and there's 6-7 of those guys. That's been reduced to 4, and then they're limited. They're not allowed in the locker room once players arrive and all that. So all for good reason. And I totally get why we're doing that, but it's just kind of made, the lift a little heavier for us.
You were talking before going on, Timmy, that you think moving forward after we do get back to some semblance of normalcy, whatever that may be. Some of these protocols may be kept in place, probably, Timmy, for all the right reasons.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think, when this is all behind and we recap everything, I think a lot of these will stick around. Will we be sanitizing footballs every day? Maybe not, but probably the helmets and shoulder pads, not a bad idea. I don't know if we would go as far as putting the plexiglass in between each player's lockers like we have, but maybe we try to spread them out a little more than they are. You've been in that locker room a lot of times, Steve, and those guys, as big as that room is square footage wise, they're kind of packed in there and whatnot. So maybe we do some reconfiguring and things like that. But yeah, I 100% think some of these protocols will stick around for the long haul.
Well, you know what, Tim, I don't care what it is a person does. If you've been doing it 25 years, you're pretty darn good at what you do. Looking back at your illustrious career, and nobody knows football gear better than you, aside from helmets, and we've had stations, Tim, about the change in technology there with concussions and what have you. What do you think has been the biggest advancement in football equipment since you began this?
Boy, I mean, I would say hands down it's helmets. The amount of resources and time that have been put into that in the last 15, 17 years, the helmets have really come a long way. I mean, our roster here, just speaking for us, we've got over 85% of our players in custom helmets where they get a 3D head scan and that helmet only fits them. And then the technology is really, really good. And it's the next level of that will be taking it to almost custom position specific helmets is where we're headed next. So helmet technology for sure. Uniform technology has come a long way as well. Oddly enough, as we're going to wear our classic throwback uniforms Thursday,
yes,
which
sir.
Everyone's excited about. But the technology in uniforms actually has come a long way as well.
Well, and this is where you and your staff come into play, because not only do you have the equipment side of things, you and your staff responsible for the club's daily outfitting of uniforms and all the apparel needs. And, having been around a practice or two, it's neat how, for the most part, everybody is, uniform, for crying out loud.
Yeah, correct. I mean, obviously the league's partnership with Nike, we have to make sure that all that product that's visible is Nike product. And we try to order that stuff and kind of the personality of almost takes kind of by the coaching staff. You look when we've had previous coaches here and that coach wore the dress slacks and the polo, well, that's what most of the other staff did on the sidelines. And that changes from staff to staff. So, you kind of have to prepare and plan for that. But it is pretty neat for me, like at practice at times, to stand back and look. And I look at all the little things, and it's neat to kind of see all that stuff that we plan for 2 years in advance when we order that product, and it comes in to see it on the field and kind of that plan as we envisioned it come together and have it work.
Well, folks, our guest, Timmy O'Neill, is a certified member of the Athletic Equipment Managers Association. As a matter of fact, Timmy helps promote and advance equipment improvements for the greater safety of all participants in sports and recreation. That, Tim, comes with a lot of responsibility, and I would imagine that at the same time, that is very interesting when you have folks coming to you saying, hey, this is what we have. What can we do to make it safer?
Yeah, no question. I mean, when you have that responsibility, not just myself, but all my staff members that are certified, we've got just under $200 million worth of athlete in that locker room. And when they depend on us to be current and they come in with questions, and today's player they ask intelligent questions that we would have never gotten before. They're educated on a lot of the equipment and trends and all that. So, it's incumbent upon us to be educated and serve our players the best we can. I mean, they are actually, if you consider our equipment room the store, they're the consumer, and they come in and they need to be educated so they can make the best choice possible for them and for the organization with anything related to equipment.
prior to your arrival with the Honolulu Blue and Silver, again back in 2002, you served as the assistant equipment manager with the Green Bay Packers. And that was thrilling, Timmy, because during your stay there, the Pack went to consecutive Super Bowl appearances. That would be Super Bowls 31 and 32, winning Super Bowl 32. Question to you, did you get a Super Bowl ring?
Yes, I did. I was fortunate enough to get one of those. Don't wear it at all. I keep it locked up in the safe deposit box at a bank. But you know, it was a great team accomplishment, and I was certainly played a small role in that, very small role. But just feel very fortunate that I was around the team that won. It was really neat, especially in that town. You know. It was pretty cool. It had been 29 years between Super Bowls for the Packers, and I know it's been a long time here, and I am praying I'm a part of the team that gets it done here, because I know that the city of Detroit and our fan base, it will just be a great thing for this community.
Well, from your lips to God's ears, Timmy, I know the Detroit Lions are very, very happy to have you on board because of the great work that you do. I know head coach Matt Patricia is very thankful for the medical staff with the Detroit Lions, because it has been pretty smooth sailing as it applies to COVID, and hopefully it continues in that way. Timmy, as always, thank you so much for your time. As always, have a happy Thanksgiving, you and yours.
Yeah, Steve, thank you. My pleasure. And it's always a pleasure talking to you.
All right. That is the head equipment manager for your Detroit Lions, Mr. Tim O'Neill, spending some time with us as we continue to count you down Thanksgiving Day style. Up ahead, your Lions play host to the Houston Texans. We've got more information coming your way. Leave it here. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Paul W. Smith Mornings.
For regular celebrities, there are two terrible days. There's the first day when they go out, and everywhere they go, as they walk around, there are cameras shooting pictures of them. And the second worst day, it's even worse than the first day, is when they go out and there's no one there. And let's face it,
That is the truth. Listen to Paul W. Smith. Then stick around for Frank Beckman, Rush Limbaugh, Guy Gordon, and Mitch Albom. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
The 25K Workday Payday on WJR is your shot at $100 10 times each weekday between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Just text the national keyword to 95819 for a chance to win. And if you get $100, you're in the running for 25K. Complete details and contest rules at WJR.com. The 25K Workday Payday on 760 WJR is sponsored by Wayne State University, where you're more than strong, you're warrior strong. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. After the game, come back to WJR for Paul W. Smith Mornings. Frank Beckman, 9 to noon. Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3. Guy Gordon from 3 to 5. And Mitch Albom, 5 to 7. After dark, it's Mark Levin and Michael Savage. Throw in the Lions and Michigan State football and basketball. With apologies to the Detroit Tigers, this is Detroit's best lineup. News Talk 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Hey, Lions fans, want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR.
521-7800.
For those of you who are under the impression that turkey is just not your deal, how about this? At Hungry Howie's, get any 2 items from the mix and match menu for just $5.99 each. That, my friends, is Hungry Howie's. Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian here with you, Lions Radio Central. We're counting it down, Thanksgiving Day style. Your Lions playing host to the 3-7 Texans. And, bad news right off the get-go, Sean. We know that the Ravens-Steelers tilt, which was going to be a doozy, that was going to be the nightcap tonight. That has been postponed and moved to Sunday at 1:15 because there was a couple of positives within the Ravens organization. So apparently the turkey coma will go into effect earlier.
Yeah, what a bummer. I mean, it is, Steve. I think currently the best rivalry in the NFL. I mean, those two teams just get at one another. It would have been a great way to finish off this day, but, we'll go with tradition today with Detroit and Dallas.
Well, you know what? We've been playing Thanksgiving football here in the great city of Detroit since 1934. The Dallas Cowboys, they have also been at it for a long, long time. As a matter of fact, in case you're wondering what the all-time Thanksgiving records are for the franchises involved, the Lions, 37-41-2. Dallas, meanwhile, 31-20-1. And they are going to be hosting the 3-7 Washington football team. As a matter of fact, how ironic. In the 2 games played today, you've got 3 teams at 3-7. Cowboys, the Washington Football Club, and the Houston Texans. Interesting.
Well, they also have a long storied rivalry, as you know, the Cowboys and Washington. And Steve, the crazy thing about it is the Cowboys have dominated Washington on Turkey Day, going 8-1 against them. That awful division is still up for grabs. You got 2 and 3 and 7 teams that are talking about playoffs, and I can hear Jim Mora yelling in the back of my head, playoffs. But I mean, really, that's the reality right now of the NFC least.
It's obscene is what it is. Is it not?
It's unbelievable. I mean, you've got everybody alive in that division, and every team in that division is just, simply put, Steve, not good.
Well, here's the deal. And I don't think the NFL is in a position to do anything, because if you win your division well under 500, rules are rules. You're going to get a home game, right?
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's really, and every one of those teams, I mean, Philly's in first place at 3-6-1. They're no good. The Giants are no good. The Giants, Cowboys, Washington, all at 3-7. You're right, Steve. Them's the rules, and one of those teams are going to make the playoffs.
Could you imagine being a 10-6 team, packing your bags to go on the road to one of them NFC East teams? How cheesed you would
goodness. Be? Oh, furious, beyond furious.
Here's what I wanted to talk to you about. In their first year of eligibility, Peyton Manning, Charles Woodson, and Calvin Johnson lead the list of 25 semifinalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame's class of 2021. Calvin Johnson only played 9 years. They were 9 pretty damn good years in the National Football League, obviously with the Lions. See a Hall of Famer, Sean?
Yes. No question about it. I mean, when you talk about a guy dominating the way that guy dominated, I think you use Terrell Davis as an example, or going way back in the day, Gale Sayers as an example. When you dominate to the level that those players dominated, absolutely, positively, I think you have to include them.
Well, those 3 players, with a combined 29 Pro Bowl appearances in their careers, joined cornerback Eric Allen, defensive end Jared Allen, tackle Willie Anderson, cornerback Rondé Barber. The list goes on and on. I've always been under the impression, Sean, do you concur that getting into the NFL's Hall of Fame, probably the most difficult of the four majors?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. I think there's no doubt about that. Steve, a guy that is still – how about Drew Pearson? I mean, Drew Pearson was unbelievable, and he's not in the National Football League or excuse me, the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. And by the way, Steve, a tip for some parents out there.
Yeah.
Take the kids down there. Great time
awesome.
at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. It really is.
Yeah, well worth the trip. Of course, you're going to have to wait a while because of this stupid pandemic. But sooner or later, it's going to get past us, right? It's going to, right?
You got it.
Okay. That's what I'm banking on. I got an idea right now. Let's pause 10 seconds for our network stations to identify themselves. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
WJR, Detroit. Text the national keyword work now to 51819 760 WJR, your 25K workday payday station.
All right, folks, stay with us here on the countdown. We've got the inactives coming up, not to mention our conversation with our NFL insider. He would be Tim Twentyman, our friend from DetroitLions.com. Leave it here for sure. This is Lions Radio.
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Paul W. Smith Mornings.
For regular celebrities, there are two terrible days. There's the first day when they go out, and everywhere they go, as they walk around, there are cameras shooting pictures of them. And the second worst day, that's even worse than the first day, is when they go out and there's no one there. And let's face it, that is the truth.
Listen to Paul W. Smith. Then stick around for Frank Beckman, Rush Limbaugh, Guy Gordon, and Mitch Albom. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
And other dairy products at your local grocer, or visit their newly remodeled store and restaurant in Northville.
That's the Guernsey difference.
Lions Radio 760 WJR.
All right, here we go, folks. Today's Inactive List is brought to you by Oxford Recovery Center, where healing begins. Not going on this Thanksgiving Day for your Detroit Lions. Again, wide receiver Danny Amendola, defensive end Austin Bryant, cornerback Mike Ford, wide receiver Kenny Galladay. It is official. Running back DeAndre Swift with that concussion will not go today. Up there on the defensive line, Deshaun Hand. He is out, as is cornerback Jeff Okudah. Now, if you're looking for some good news, we know Amani Oruwariye, the young corner, is going to go. He was listed as questionable with a back. Also, linebacker Reggie Ragland with a bad ankle. He is going to go. All right, time now for this NFL Insider, brought to you by Must Construction Careers. And we are checking in with our friend from DetroitLions.com, Tim Twentyman. Timmy, how are you? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. How you doing over there?
All righty. You know, nothing like a 20-0 shutout loss to a mediocre Carolina club a week ago, Tim, to really bring out the negative Nellies, if you will. It has been a pretty unfortunate week for this Detroit Lions team. Obviously, Matt Patricia's job security has been brought into question time and time again. You hate to see it. However, it is the reality of the situation, Tim.
It's the reality. Look, this is a business where it's about wins and losses. And that's simple. It's really simple that way in the NFL. It's a results business, and they got to start winning football games. You guys know the mandate. We've talked about it before. Playing meaningful games in the month of December. And so to get to that point now, you put yourself in a situation where you've got to go on a run, and it's as simple as that. And you talked about the negative stuff this week and the shutout last week. I think the one positive is that you get to turn around and play a football game 4 days later. I mean, that was one of the worst performances this team's had in a while, to be shut out like that. And so to be able to flip it and turn it around and play 4 days later, we talked to Matthew Stafford this week. We talked to TJ Hawkinson, and they said they were eager to get that bad taste out of their mouth. So maybe the one positive, you don't have to sit there and dwell on that for an entire week. You get to turn around, get a new opponent, and maybe turn it your way.
It really hurts in a game like this, Tim, to not have DeAndre Swift. I mean, look, it hurts any time, but especially in a game like this when Houston's just been so poor against the run. What are you expecting today? Might we see more carry on, or is this going to be Adrian Peterson with just a little dose of carry on?
I think you'll see both. We saw that last week, before they got too far behind and had to abandon the run, and then they were in a tough spot offensively. But look, I think the one positive, this is the Houston team that's 32nd in the NFL against the run, right? They're allowing almost 160 yards per game. Now, they were good last week against New England. They only allowed 55 yards and 2.9 per attempt last week. So which Houston team are you going to get? You can get the one from last week that was really, really good in that win over New England, or the one throughout the year that's allowed 5 games of 30 plus points and been the worst, rushing defense in the league. And so I think we're going to see AP to start. We're going to see carry on mix in, and we'll know right away if they're going to have some success. Last week simply wasn't good enough against a Carolina team. I think those two combined for 35 yards. That's not going to get it done, and so they've got to be better, and they should be better today, and that's certainly got to be the expectation.
A lot, Timmy, of what you're saying, I think, relies on this Lions offensive line, and it was not good. And let's just be honest, I think this group has been one of the more positive notes of this 2020 Lions team. Up front last week against Carolina, they were just beleaguered. Matthew Stafford sacked 5 times. He was under pressure a heck of a lot more than that. And at the end of the day, 185 total yards of offense. This group has got to be better today.
Yeah, it's got to be a lot better. Now, I think early on, not getting holes in the run game, not building some consistency with the run game. I think that was the most disappointing part about the offensive line play last week. I mean, once you get down 17-0, right, and defenses can pin their ears back and go after you. All those sacks were in the second half when they were down on the scoreboard. And so it's got to be better early, right? Your last question was, about the run game. Well, that's how you protect Matthew Stafford, right? Open up some of those holes early, right? Keep this Houston defense guessing. Don't allow them to get ahead early, pin their ears back like we saw with Carolina. It's really, to me, about the first quarter in this football game. Got to establish some kind of run. You've got to be somewhat balanced, or TJ Watt, Whitney Merciless, and some of these guys are just they're too good. They're going to get after you. If they know you're throwing, it's going to be a long day for Matthew Stafford in this offensive line. So they've got to do something early in the run game or the play action game, move Stafford out, use a short passing attack, wide receiver screens, getting Kerryon Johnson involved in the flat, just something to slow these guys down a little bit. A short passing game can be just as effective as a run game as well. So they've got to do some of that early on to relieve some of the pressure.
Tim, for all that has gone wrong off and on the field for the Texans this year, Desean Watson's having a heck of a season. He really is. I mean, it's almost like people stop talking about how good this guy is.
Well, when the team is 3-7, that happens, right? You talk about the Mahomes and the guys that are on top, but you're right. I mean, this guy is amazing. You look at his last 8 games. He's got 7 of his last 8 games where he's got 100+ passer rating. I mean, this guy is just amazing. He brings it every single week. And, I think really where he's the most dangerous is I think he is the most accurate passer in the NFL on the run. And he's got a strong arm to do it too. And he's got some weapons on the outside and Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller that can get down the field. And so the key today is you cannot let him get outside the pocket, right? He's got to be a pocket passer. When he's able to get out, move his feet. Now, he's not wanting to run. He certainly can do that, but he's one of those guys that gets out of the pocket to throw, a lot like Russell Wilson does. And he's very, very accurate when he does it. And like Russell Wilson in Seattle, they've got guys that can get down the field and make plays. So if you let Desean Watson extend plays, that's where you're in big time trouble with this Lions defense today. You got to keep him in the pocket, make him a pocket passer, beat you that way.
All right, Timmy, thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Enjoy the day. Hopefully get a Lions W. That would make it a lot better, wouldn't it?
A little bit better, yeah.
All right.
All right, guys, same to you.
You betcha. Tim Twentyman with us here from DetroitLions.com. Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian here. After the break, we come back with players to watch. Leave it here. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
The 25K Workday Payday on WJR is your shot at $100 10 times each weekday between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Just text the national keyword to 95819 for a chance to win. And if you get $100, you're in the running for 25K. Complete details and contest rules at WJR.com. The 25K Workday Payday on 760 WJR is sponsored by Wayne State University, where you're more than strong, you're warrior strong.
Hey, Lions fans, want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Work can be anywhere these days, and nobody does anywhere like Detroit's WJR. Listen on your radio at 760 AM. Stream us at WJR.com or on your phone with the WJR app. Hear us on Alexa and Google Home smart speakers or with the TuneIn app on your radio smart speaker, your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. You can listen anywhere because WJR is everywhere. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. After the game, come back to WJR for Paul W. Smith mornings. Frank Beckman, 9 to noon. Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3. Guy Gordon from 3 to 5. And Mitch Albom, 5 to 7. After dark, it's Mark Levin and Michael Savage. Throw in the Lions and Michigan State football and basketball. With apologies to the Detroit Tigers, this is Detroit's best lineup. News Talk 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Paul W. Smith mornings.
For regular celebrities, there are two terrible days. There's the first day when they go out, and everywhere they go, as they walk around, there are cameras shooting pictures of them. And the second worst day, it's even worse than the first day, is when they go out and there's no one there. And let's face it,
that is the truth. Listen to Paul W. Smith. Then stick around for Frank Beckman, Rush Limbaugh, Guy Gordon, and Mitch Albom. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Today's players to watch are brought to you by Guernsey Farms Dairy, celebrating 80 years of award-winning dairy products. All right, Steve and Sean here. And as we look to this tilt, Lions and Texans on Thanksgiving Day 2020, who are you going with there, partner?
You know, I'm going to go with the old dog, Adrian Peterson. This is a defense that can be run on. AP had some flashes earlier in the year. This is an opportunity, as I said, Steve, to establish something on the ground, keep Desean Watson off the field. So, I openly admit it. This is more of a hope, but I'm hoping that it's Adrian Peterson today.
I'm going to break the rules a little bit, if that's okay. Instead of a player to watch, I'm going to go with a team to watch. And I think this whole Detroit Lion football team needs to reach down and find something something because of what we witnessed as a group last Sunday in Charlotte. It was unacceptable. It was absolutely abysmal. It was horrible. And to a man, pretty much, members of this Lions team said, hey, look, we just can't wait to get back on the field. Well, it's a quick turnaround. You are back on the field, and you owe it to yourselves, among other things, to go out there and play the game the way that it should be played. Look, we all know what's going on, with Matt Patricia and the job security. You got a guy like Duron Harmon that came out and said, look, we enjoy Matt as our coach. We have no problem with him as our coach. Okay, I accept that. But what I accept more, and what is more acceptable, if that's the way you feel, is to go out and win a game. Simple. You had the opportunity to win 2 straight. You had the opportunity to get back to 500 and be considered a legitimate postseason contender. Failed miserably 1 week ago. This whole team is under my watchful eye today. Not that matters.
I think that's a great point, Steve. And you know what? To a man, these guys all talk about how much they enjoy playing for Matt Patricia. It really has been amazing how these guys have come out in support for Matt Patricia. You should play like it. Show us. Actions speak louder than words.
Well, and we've talked about it time and time again about this Lions team and the countdown. That, you know what? You're going to talk and you believe in your team. I get that. This Lions group, for as long as I can remember, have always painted themselves to be a legitimate postseason contender. But yet, from a record standpoint, obviously, they have fallen woefully short. I, for one, am tired of the lip service. And this has been going on and on and on. There is only one barometer used in National Football League games, and that's wins and losses. And there's been far too many losses going on. And we'll see if today, albeit beat up again, can't use injuries as an excuse, the Lions can use this special time of year to find something good. That's all.
Well said, my friend. And you know what, Steve? I think there's a difference between being beat up and beating yourself up. And the way they played last Sunday, it completely unacceptable. I mean, it really was that ugly. And turn the page. You got an opportunity 4 days later.
All right, don't go away. We'll take you to Ford Field for you know what. That's coming up in just a bit. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
The 25K Workday Payday on WJR is your shot at $100 10 times each weekday between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Just text the national keyword to 95819 for a chance to win. And if you get $100, you're in the running for 25K. Complete details and contest rules at WJR.com. The 25K Workday Payday on 760 WJR is sponsored by Wayne State University, where you're more than strong, you're warrior strong. Work can be anywhere these days, and nobody does anywhere like Detroit's WJR. Listen on your radio at 760 AM. Stream us at WJR.com or on your phone with the WJR app. Hear us on Alexa and Google Home smart speakers or with the TuneIn app on your radio smart speaker, your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. You can listen anywhere because WJR is everywhere. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
2021 is the year to make your home more beautiful. Schedule your safe at-home or virtual estimate at wallside.com.
News Talk 760 WJR.
Well, First Look is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. We take you to Ford Field, where the Lions will be playing host to the Houston Texans on this Thanksgiving Day. Normally, we are joined by Dan Miller, the voice, as well as Lomas Brown, but Danny's big time in us. He's got television responsibilities. So, Lomas, we're going to have a nice conversation with you. First of all, happy Thanksgiving to you, my friend.
Hey, same to you, Steve. Shane, same to you, Sean. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys.
As we look forward to this Lions tilt, one thing we've been talking about it throughout the countdown, Low, and I'm sure you can recognize this Lions offensive line, which has been pretty darn good throughout the year, must make major improvement from the debacle of 1 week ago in Charlotte.
Yes, they have to, Steve. You know, beginning of this season and towards the middle of the season, we were the top-ranked run offensive line in the league. Since we've had these last couple of hiccups, we've fallen to fifth. So you're right. The production of the offensive line is definitely going to have to pick up. Now, I know they've been having guys shuffled in and out, and because of injuries, you don't have the guys where they need to be at, and the chemistry may not be there. But as a whole, these guys have to step up, not only to run the ball, but also to protect Matthew Stafford, too.
I believe we have temporarily lost Sean. Don't worry about that, Lo. The beat goes on. Listen,
absolutely.
The Detroit Lions right now, they are what the record says they are. They are 4-6, and we all know the negativity going on around this organization, Lo. Yes. From a player standpoint, how much of an effect does that have on you come game day?
Steve, it affects you. I mean, guys may say it doesn't, but think about it. You sit around all week long. You hear about us saying how good you aren't, the things that you do need to improve. Your coach is in trouble. Your GM is in trouble. You know, people not talking well about the organization as a whole. Players hear this. We hear this. You absorb this. You try not to, but you're human, Steve. So, yeah, these guys may say they don't hear the outside chatter, but they're seeing it. They're hearing it, and they have to respond to it. They really do, because not only is it coaches and GMs and administrators that go, but when you have changes, players also go too.
Lomas, I wanted to ask you, just switching gears, how much do guys enjoy playing on this game? Because, we as fans, I'm telling you, I'm looking at you right now. I remember 91 plain as day. My buddies and I watching you guys punch Ditka and the Bears in the mouth. I mean, it's something none of us will ever forget. But, do you guys enjoy playing on this day?
My favorite memory as a Lion is Thanksgiving Day games. Every one of them. I played in 11 of them. I remember pretty much all of them. And I can't say that about a lot of football games, but mostly all my Thanksgiving Day games I remember, because how we emphasize that, how Wayne Fonts used to emphasize how important Thanksgiving was, not only to the team, but to the region, to the state of Michigan. We were the first games on at 12:30. The whole nation is watching you. Your friends, family, they're back at home watching you. So you have to go out there and play well. And that's what we tried to do on Thanksgiving Day game. And I believe me, I think Wayne, by him emphasizing how important it was, I think it really resonated with the guys in that locker room.
All right, Lo, appreciate your time, my friend. Looking forward to the call and hopefully better things. No, scratch that. Hopefully much better things for the Lions today.
We need it, Steve.
You better believe it. Thank you very much, Lomas Brown there. He'll be joined shortly for the call with the one and only Dan Miller. Well, our time together is come and gone on this Thanksgiving Day. Sean, we'll be back to break it down afterwards. Hopefully much better things to talk about.
Yeah, Steve, you know what? It's Thanksgiving, and we're going to try to keep the positive and, count our blessings, especially a year like this, but a W sure would be nice.
All right, folks, stick around. Much more information coming your way as the countdown continues to your Lions and the Texans. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Work can be anywhere these days, and nobody does anywhere like Detroit's WJR. Listen on your radio at 760 AM. Stream us at WJR.com or on your phone with the WJR app. Hear us on Alexa and Google Home smart speakers or with the TuneIn app on your radio smart speaker, your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. You can listen anywhere because WJR is everywhere. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. The 25K Workday Payday on WJR is your shot at $100 10 times each weekday between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Just text the national keyword to 95819 for a chance to win. And if you get $100, you're in the running for 25K. Complete details and contest rules at WJR.com. The 25K Workday Payday on 760 WJR is sponsored by Wayne State University, where you're more than strong, you're warrior strong. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans, want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
After the game, come back to WJR for Paul W. Smith Mornings. Frank Beckman, 9 to noon. Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3. Guy Gordon from 3 to 5. And Mitch Albom, 5 to 7. After dark, it's Mark Levin and Michael Savage. Throw in the Lions and Michigan State football and basketball. With apologies to the Detroit Tigers, this is Detroit's best lineup. News Talk 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Now back to the broadcast booth. Here are the voices of the Lions, Dan Miller and Lomas Brown.
Ford Field in downtown Detroit, Week 12 in the National Football League, and the Lions are set to renew one of the great traditions in the world of sports. For the 81st time, they'll play on Thanksgiving Day. The greats have all been here, from Bobby Lane and Joe Schmidt to Night Train Lane and the Fearsome Foursome, to Lem Barney, to Charlie Sanders, to Billy Sims, to Barry Sanders, to Calvin Johnson, and my partner as well, Lomas Brown and Big Low. When you put on that uniform, you become a part of this. It's bigger than one man. It's bigger than one team. It's about history, and I imagine you feel that when you run out on this field.
You do, Dan. This is my everlasting memory from the Lions, is playing on Thanksgiving. just getting up earlier in the morning. The game starts earlier. The anticipation of everybody being in here, 60,000 fans. Of course, back at the Silverdome, 80,000 that we would have there. But you just knowing that you're the only game on TV, that everybody's watching you, and that you want to go out and put your best performance on during this game. And that's, to me, that was a tradition. And Wayne Fonts, man, the big buck, he used to always make sure that this game was ultra important to us. And that's the thing I really cherish about Wayne, how important he made this game, the Thanksgiving Day game.
There is that old saying that goes, anything can happen with the Lions on Thanksgiving Day, no matter how bad they're playing. I don't know that that's always true, but do you feel in any way, shape, or form that it can elevate your performance? Or is it like Mike Tyson, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth?
I like that, but Dan, you feel like you could win. You feel like you can win. You don't care who comes here. You feel like you win. You feel like you have the advantage, regardless of the short week, regardless of what you did that Sunday prior to Thanksgiving. You feel that you could win this game when you come out here 12:30 on a Thursday to play this Thanksgiving Day game.
Well, that's what they're going to be doing today. And let's get to our radio roundtable, brought to you by Ford. Built Ford proud. Mike O'Hara, DetroitLions.com, joins us. I don't know if anybody's been through more of these than you have, O'Hara.
You know, when those Model Ts came rolling in 1934, we were so happy. We milked the cows and went to the game.
Michael, you've been through a lot. You've seen a lot. This is a special day, though. It transcends so many things that happen with the Lions, good seasons, bad seasons. It kind of stands by itself because it means so much to so many people around here. We will get to what's going on. We will get to the dark clouds. But this is something special.
It really is something special. And in Lomas, I love what he said about coming out of the tunnel at the Silverdome and all that and being jacked up for the game. But you know what? So the opponent is too. They like it too. They like this game. You know what they like about it too? They like the 3 days off after. But you can really sell out in this game. And I've seen some amazing things. When you say anything can happen, I just thought about this. In 1979, the Lions ended up 2-14, and they were playing the Chicago Bears on Thanksgiving
Day. The Jeff Comlow year?
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, it really was. But it was a Bubba Baker year because I think he had 4 or 5 sacks. But they had a kid named James Harrell, played at Florida. I don't know if he was a teammate of yours or not. And they said that he was basically a pro football walk-on. And they said to him, "You've got Peyton. You've got Walter Payton." And he went up and I'll never forget this, down the right sideline across, and went up and spatted away a pass meant for Walter Payton. It looked like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the Skytrap. They won 20-0. And that's the only other game. They ended up 2-14, but that game made their season. Then, of course, they got Billy Sims in the draft.
Yeah.
But that's a game, and that's a player, James Harrell out of the University of Florida. I will never forget.
There is a bigger picture, obviously, going on with this team right now. Coach got a lot of tough questions this week about his future. We don't know what's going to happen there, but you know, if anything good is going to happen for Matt Patricia, this team needs a turnaround. And you just wonder how possible that is with the way that everything's going with the injuries and what we've seen so far.
Yeah, and you know what? When you say turnaround, maybe the turnaround was after they got to 3-3, and now they're 4-6. I mean, I'm really surprised at it's a little bit of the lack of energy we've seen at times, of the way the Lions haven't been able to adjust to things in the second half. Last week was another example. It's 7-0 at halftime. You're getting the ball coming out, and you go nowhere, and they just run you off the field. It's 20-0. The week before against Washington, you got a 24-3 lead midway through the third quarter. Never get to the end zone again. Well, they just run up and you end up winning it on the last play of the game. But teams seem to figure this team out, and they don't have any answer for it.
Yeah.
And today, Desean Watson, he will have answers, believe me.
Yeah. Mike, I just think they might have a dilemma on the offensive side of the ball. Here you got Matthew Stafford, 12-year vet that you probably want to put the ball in his hand.
Sure.
But then again, you got your run game. You got to get that run game going because it complements Matthew in such a way where it can help him. So, I mean, to me, it seems that way. And that just seems that they have a dilemma. Do they want to run the ball? Do they want to commit to running the ball? Or do they want to commit to giving it to Matthew Stafford and letting him carry the team?
Right. Well, I think good things happen when the ball's in Matthew Stafford's hands. And you hope that last week was an anomaly when he got sacked 5 times on 27 dropbacks in the second half. Wow. You're just under siege when that happens. And now the running game, I think DeAndre Swift really adds something to this team. But who knows if he's going to play? It's hard to tell.
I have a note.
Yes.
Since Barry left in 1999, the Lions are last in the NFL in rushing, second to last in rushing TDs, and next to last in rushing TDs, and next to last in yards per rush. I mean, this has been going on forever. It is unbelievable that they've just not ever been able to get this thing back on track for any appreciable amount of time since Barry walked out that door. And they have thrown asset after asset after asset at it, and I have no idea why it just doesn't work.
Well, they certainly haven't.
And it's a big part of this game.
It really is. I mean, they've drafted people, they've signed people, not so much in free agency. The one, James Stewart, I think you could say that paid off. I think they had him for 4 years. Yeah. He had 2 1,000-yard rushing seasons, but they went 9-7 and missed the playoffs on the last play of the game in 1999 and 2000. I'm sorry, my mistake. And then didn't get a sniff the rest of the way. But you're absolutely right. Javid Best looked like the answer. He wasn't going to gain 1,000 yards, but he was a playmaker. Yeah. He was going to make big plays for you. He got hurt his 5th game of his rookie year, never played. His second year, never played again. Now DeAndre Swift out last week with a concussion. To me, that's just, my God, concussion. That's to me, that's scary. It really is.
Well,
because you don't know what's going on.
I mean, Reggie Bush came here at 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
He and Joy got it going one year.
Yeah.
Kevin Jones looked for a hot minute like he might be the guy, but it just nothing ever sustains. And it's, it makes life tough on a quarterback. Yes. It makes it really tough on whatever quarterback it is. I don't care if it was John Kitna. I don't care if it was Matthew Stafford or Joey Harrington or whoever. If you can't run the ball and you're sticking it all in your quarterback, it's a problem.
Well, absolutely. And there's a difference between having a running back and a running attack. If you have a running attack, if you lose your main guy, but you can still run the ball to some degree. Good point. The Lions in both ways just haven't been able to make it. So tough day here. Maybe they'll win one.
Michael, happy Thanksgiving, my friend.
Happy Thanksgiving.
It's always good to see you. Michael
right,
O'Hara,
guys.
read his stuff on DetroitLions.com. We'll take a break, come right back. Much more coming up as we get you ready for this special edition of Lions football. Lions and Texans on Thanksgiving Day. This is Lions Radio.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Paul W. Smith Mornings.
For regular celebrities, there are 2 terrible days. There's the first day when they go out and everywhere they go, as they walk around, there are cameras shooting pictures of them. And the second worst day, that's even worse than the first day, is when they go out and there's no one there. And let's face it,
That is the truth. Listen to Paul W. Smith. Then stick around for Frank Beckman, Rush Limbaugh, Guy Gordon, and Mitch Albom. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Work can be anywhere these days, and nobody does anywhere like Detroit's WJR. Listen on your radio at 760 AM. Stream us at WJR.com or on your phone with the WJR app. Hear us on Alexa and Google Home smart speakers or with the TuneIn app on your radio smart speaker, your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. You can listen anywhere because WJR is everywhere. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Check out RinaldiSausage.com for a local grocer near you and great recipe tips. Rinaldi Sausage, your link to good food and good times.
Lions Radio 760 WJR.
I welcome you back to this very special Thanksgiving edition of the Countdown here on Lions Radio. My name is Steve Courtney. Thank you very much for making us a part of your Thanksgiving holiday. Time now for our Lions profile, brought to you by Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. It's a new day. I'm just going to tell you something right now. Our next guest is a man that I have known for a number of years. He has worn various hats while with this Lions organization. His name is Billy Boy Keenest. How are you, sir?
I'm great, Steve. It's wonderful to share this day with you and everybody at JR.
I'll tell you, I know that you've been to quite a few Thanksgiving tilts with the Honolulu Blue and Silver. And as we celebrate this Thanksgiving Day, first of all, Bill, I am hopeful that all is well with you and yours.
Yes, absolutely, Steve. Thanks for asking that, especially this year. It takes on a different meaning, I think, and I certainly hope and pray that Thanksgiving Day does as well, and I'm pretty certain it will and has for everybody.
You know, Bill, when you've been with this organization as long as you have had the pleasure of being around some amazing football personalities and just personalities in general. You ever find yourself looking back on that and reflecting?
A lot, Steve. And I think as we get older, it's natural to do that. You know, this business is a lot of things, but one thing it certainly is about relationships. And I treasure ours. And that's the one, beauty of it is we can reminisce, we can go back. And every time we come up close to Thanksgiving game, I always think back to my first Thanksgiving game. And there were two things that happened during that game, preparation week, if you will, that I'd love to share with you. And really none of them have to do with what happened on the field, which was a great win over the New York Jets. Eric Hipple threw 3 touchdown passes, Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen during the game, but it was a really, really big win for us. But what happened, and I'm not really sure if it still does, I don't believe certainly to the extent that it used to. My first year in the league was 1981 with Washington, and I got caught in this little joke, if you will, that the veterans back in that era played all the time, and it was the free turkey giveaway to all the rookies and to all the unknowing, staff members. So I got caught in Washington, and so I had a little advanced expectation when I get to Detroit. So in 85, which was my first year, as you recall, Steve, Darryl Rogers was our head coach. And Darryl had never been in the NFL, and a number of his assistants were career college coaches that he brought to the Lions. So some of his assistant coaches who had only been in college were rookies with respect to this free turkey giveaway. So I think it was probably the Monday or Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and a couple of the vets get up and they have these coupons or letters or whatever it was, and they announced that, especially for the rookies, some of you won't get home in time for Thanksgiving. They had it nailed down. So it sounded so authentic and so genuine. But we have free turkeys right down Updike Drive, the Hollywood Market, which was a really good supermarket not far from the Silverdome. They had arranged a free turkey giveaway. So everybody believed it that didn't know, the joke. And unfortunately, or fortunately for storytelling, one of our assistant coaches believed it. I'm not gonna unveil the name. So he tells us
for obvious reasons.
Yeah, we got a free turkey. Every year the trick varies from how it's executed, but this year the market, with help from our veterans, got blocks of ice and wrapped it in a way with freezer paper, brown paper, whatever, and it looked like a 10, 15 pound turkey. So it was wrapped up pretty well, and so you'd go to the meat counter, hand over your coupon, and then hand you this bag of ice, essentially thinking that it was a turkey. So our assistant coach takes the bag of ice, thinking it was a turkey, home Wednesday afternoon. They put it on the kitchen counter. He and his wife go somewhere. They come back, and it's melted. So there's water all over the place. Now the rest of the story, he doesn't realize it's a joke. He thinks that the supermarket was messing with him. He storms back to the supermarket and demands to see the manager, and I want my turkey. What do you think giving me a block of ice? That was supposed to be a turkey. So they had to call a couple of our veterans to calm him down and tell him, no, coach, that was a joke. That type of thing.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And over the years, we've set up, hidden cameras to capture the rookies getting the turkey, and just, so many different things like that over the years. The other thing I remember about that game is we had NBC, and I was given a pregame duty. I wasn't really sure what it was, but it was to hang with Ahmad Rashad in one of our lower level EO booths at the Silverdome. And I'm with Ahmad, and he's going to go live to the nation. And I'm looking at him, and he is sweating profusely. And I'm thinking, what? It was warm, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it was the TV lights or whatever. But I remember handing him a towel to blot himself a little bit because there were sweat beads everywhere. And then they go to him, and he actually proposed on national TV to Felicia. So that was his national TV proposal to his future wife. So that was really kind of cool, as you can expect. The other, and if I'll just share a couple other stories that I think are pretty cool. In 1998, of course, you remember the coin toss game with the Steelers and Phil Luckett. And that, incident, if you will, that changed the protocol for coin tossing for the rest of history, if you will. Because prior to that game, the official would throw it in the air, would toss it in the air, and the player would make the toss while it was in the air. And with the heads, tails, heads, whatever Jerome Bettis truly said, that changed the protocol for that. One of the true most memorable games, for a lot of reasons, for a number of reasons, was the 1991 game against the Bears. And that game was the first home game after Mike Utley was paralyzed. Mike had suffered his injury against the Rams on November 17th. We won that game. And then we go to Minnesota. I'm telling you, Steve, I'm getting chills thinking about it, because the way the team played that day, we were not going to lose. It was just no doubt, just the emotion, the passion.
I remember
everybody had Mike on their sleeve and in their heart that day. And Barry ran wild. Barry had 4 touchdowns, 220 yards rushing. It was a big win for us to stay close to the Bears. And so we beat them pretty handedly. And so now we got to turn around and get ready to play the Bears on Thanksgiving. They were a game ahead of us. They were 9-3. We were 8-4. We got John Madden and Pat Summerall, and it's, the game of the day, really, because of how well we were both playing. And on the plane ride back from Minnesota, I sit down with our friend Lomas Brown. And I had been already starting to think about the broadcast and, what we had to accomplish in the next few days. Obviously, Mike Utley is on everyone's mind. So I had written out a little note, and obviously there was some approvals that needed to be done prior to this becoming a reality. And I went to Lomas, because Lomas was the only one that I felt could do this and should do this. And so I asked Lomas if he would be willing. Right before kickoff, the whole team would be on the sideline, and it would get him a mic, and he would give a message to Mike Utley in the hospital, who we knew was watching, and we knew would be listening. And so I worked it out sort of discreetly with CBS, because truthfully, the league and certainly the Bears, wouldn't necessarily want an interruption before the kickoff, because everything's timed so properly. But it just made too much sense not to do it. So right before kickoff, Lomas gets on the microphone and, hey, Mike, we know you're listening. We want you to know that you're as big a part of this team today as you've ever been, and you always will be a part of this team. Stay tough, Mike. We're praying for you. We're pulling for you. Thumbs up, Mike. Thumbs up. We love you, Mike. We love you, Mike. And the place erupted. It erupted. And
I've got goosebumps right now, Bill.
Yeah, exactly. And Mel Gray returned the opening kick, I think, over 50 yards. And it set the tone for the day. We scored on that opening drive. We beat the Bears to tie for the division lead. And then we ended up winning the division lead later in the season. So that was one of those memories that, you just don't forget. And then
unbelievable.
A couple years later, Steve, this is kind of a funny memory, but we all remember just a few years ago, I think it was 2016, when Aretha, God bless her, the Queen of Soul, sang the anthem at Ford Field, and it went about 4.5, 5 minutes. Remember that? And
it was a little lengthy.
Yeah, a little lengthy. Yeah. Well, she was scheduled to sing the anthem at the Silverdome in the mid-90s. I'm guessing 93, 94, somewhere around there. Could have been a year or two later. So the plan was for her to have a rehearsal with her piano, I think at like 7:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock. So we're there. Everybody's got the sound going, everything, and her piano is wheeled out, and she does a beautiful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. Everything sounds great. Knowing it would sound even better with a full stadium, and so we're good, right? So we go through the pregame, and Greg Gumbel was hosting the CBS Today show in New York, or it might have been Fox by then. I'm not even sure which year it was. But Greg was in New York, and he's going to cue the anthem live. So I'm on the headsets with the truck, with the producer, somebody on the field. We got, the microphone turned on. Everything's ready to go. And Greg from New York, from the studio, cues the anthem. And now let's go to Pontiac, Michigan, the Silverdome, and Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul, for our Star Spangled Banner. And she starts playing the piano, and then she starts, "Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for I am the wind." She totally freelanced, and everybody's looking around like, what just happened?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and
another thing I remember, Bill, it's funny how you mention these things and they all come flooding back. But, Bill, at the beginning of our conversation, I mentioned that you have worn a lot of hats with this Detroit Lions organization, and the one you're wearing right now suits you wonderfully, the team historian. A pleasure being your friend, Bill.
Likewise, my bud.
And I appreciate your time, and look forward to seeing you face-to-face whenever we're allowed to do that.
Exactly. Real soon, Steve.
All right. Thank you. That is Lions team historian Bill Keenis spending some time with us on the countdown. Coming up, you better believe it, the Thanksgiving Day Tilt. Your Lions playing host to the Houston Texans. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Work can be anywhere these days, and nobody does anywhere like Detroit's WJR. Listen on your radio at 760 AM. Stream us at WJR.com or on your phone with the WJR app. Hear us on Alexa and Google Home smart speakers or with the TuneIn app on your radio smart speaker, your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. You can listen anywhere because WJR is everywhere. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. The 25K Workday Payday on WJR is your shot at $100 10 times each weekday between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Just text the national keyword to 95819 for a chance to win. And if you get $100, you're in the running for 25K. Complete details and contest rules at WJR.com. The 25K Workday Payday on 760 WJR is sponsored by Wayne State University, where you're more than strong, you're warrior strong.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. After the game, come back to WJR for Paul W. Smith Mornings. Frank Beckman, 9 to noon. Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3. Guy Gordon from 3 to 5. And Mitch Albom, 5 to 7. After dark, it's Mark Levin and Michael Savage. Throw in the Lions and Michigan State football and basketball. With apologies to the Detroit Tigers, this is Detroit's best lineup. News Talk 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR.
Welcome back. This is Lomas Brown here with Jonah Jackson, rookie guard out of Ohio State, third-round pick. Jonah, how are you today?
Man, I can't complain. Very excited for this upcoming game and this upcoming holiday.
So, Jonah, we'll get right into football. Tell me, what have you seen from Houston on film, especially that front that they have?
Yeah, you know, they got a big-time guy in J.J. Watt, and he's definitely a great player, somebody you have to look out for. And then the rest of their front seven, they're all great players, fast to the ball, flying around. And, you know, it's definitely going to be a high-effort game and definitely a game we got to bring everything we got in.
Yeah, you talk about J.J. Watt. They have some other good players up there with J.J. Watt. Let me ask you, how has the preparation been for this week? It's a short week. You guys are turning right back around. How has the preparation been for you?
Yeah, you know, it's definitely different being in the pros now. You play on Thursdays, but, you know, the transition's been pretty efficient. And here I feel like we're getting the game plan in, and, you know, we'll be ready to go come Thursday.
Jonas, so we talk about some of the good players. Let me ask you, who's the best player that you've faced so far this year?
Man, it's a long list of them. Honestly, I couldn't pick one. A lot of different type dudes we faced, and all of them are good.
Yeah, you're right, man. You guys have played a lot of good defensive line, Indianapolis defensive line, and it seems like every week you guys have a big challenge in front of you blocking these guys.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, you gotta handle those guys, be able to get the ball out, get in the end zone, and, you know, come out with a W.
Jonah, I think probably one of the most impressive things for me is, man, how you've come in and just earned the starting job without an off season. You know how different it's been. Everything's virtual. Can you kind of just tell me how you handled that process of coming in from day one and being able to start?
I mean, I guess it was just implanted in me from the day one of college, and just how I came up, just grinding and just be ready for when the opportunity strikes. And especially since we didn't have no off season, I mean, it wasn't nothing different. I still had my gym to go to. I was still able to get my grind on. And we were still able to meet virtually. So, I mean, the in-person definitely probably had a little impact, but I feel like once we were able to all to get together in August and get things rolling, it was pretty comfortable transition.
Jonah, it would have been a little harder for me because I'm the type of guy, I got to go out there and run the play. I just can't see it, you know, and memorize the play like that. I got to go out there and run it a couple of times. How do you learn plays? Are you more of a learner off the board, or do you have to go out there and actually run plays to learn them?
I'd probably say I'm not too picky of a person. I can learn off the board. I can learn through walkthrough. So either way, I need to learn. I'm gonna learn it. I'm gonna make sure I know it and make sure I'm able to execute on Sunday.
Jonah, another thing, man, I've been really pleased, you know, with how you guys have been playing up front. Talk to me how it is playing next to Taylor Decker, your former Buckeye. How has it been playing next to Taylor?
Shoot, I mean, it's awesome having a veteran guy like that knows the game in and out. And then I got another guy to me, Frank. I might have got to your next question, yes. But just those two guys alone, just very experienced, very wise, very savvy in their game, and just very helpful and helped me bring my game along to be able to adapt to the next level.
So, Jonah, tell me what you think you guys have to do to keep having success up front. What do you guys have to do against the Houston Texans defensive line, and really the rest of this season? What do you guys have to consistently get done up front?
I'd say just consistent things, and this is every week, just communication. Run the ball, protect the ball, and protect back. And we do those things, you know, we'll end up victorious.
Just wanted to ask you a little bit, man. I know you went to Rutgers. You were there 4 years, then went over to Ohio State. I was just wondering, I looked at some of the schools that recruited you, man, coming out of high school. I was just wondering, man, because of what a good player you are now, why weren't you heavily recruited coming out of high school?
Hey, man, I guess they were just sleeping on me at that point. No, I'm kidding. But I just came from a small school. I was the first, I think, like Division I-A recruit in like 40-something years. So, I mean, we weren't too active in recruiting, and I'm not too sure, honestly. Yeah, I guess they were just sleeping on me.
Yeah, I might have to go have a word with them coaches, man, because I just don't understand that.
We good. We'll let them live.
Okay. We got them. So, Jonah, man, like I said, man, Thanksgiving coming up. So, we got to talk about it, bro. That I know it's going to consist of a lot of food. So what is it? Talk to the big fella.
I mean, the plate, for starters, you obviously need your greens, your mac, your yam. You get all that in one forkful. I mean, there's nothing better than that. And fried turkey. I probably won't be having that this year. The family back home will, but yeah, I'd say those four things. I mean, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, man. Did you have any big plans after the game? Was family up? Do you have any plans after the game?
No, just eat some dinner and just chill. Nothing too crazy. Do some film review and get ready for the next week.
Watch some other football, huh? So what about past games, Jonah? Any past Thanksgiving Day games that stick out to you, or any football memories from Thanksgiving that stick out to you?
I mean, I've actually never had the opportunity to play on Thanksgiving, and this will be my first time being able to do that and actually playing on a holiday. So I'm excited to be able to have my first memory and go out there and play on Thursday.
Yeah, it's a special thing, Jonah. Believe me, I played in 11 of them, man. So you definitely gonna remember all of them that you play in and stuff. And my last things, man, come to find out, man, that you're a huge Philly sports fan, huh? AI, Brian Dawkins. And then I heard, I'm a Florida Gator, so I heard you had a Javon Curse jersey, man, the freak. Now, talk to me about that love for that Philly. I know you're from PA, so that's where that's come from, huh? That's that homegrown love for the PA teams?
Yeah, definitely. We had to switch up the NFL team now. I'm a Lions guy through and through, but and every other sport probably. Just definitely the home feeling and being in a place like that with great fans. You can't go wrong supporting the hometown team.
Yeah, you're right, man. I've had some battles in Philadelphia. So now, which sport? Football, basketball? What's your favorite sport out of the Philly sports? What's your favorite?
I mean, football, definitely. Yeah, definitely being able to go down to the link when I was younger, be able to sit out there at the tailgates, watch the fans scream at some Dallas fans or whoever came into town that week.
You're right. I don't think it mattered who came in. They was screaming at you. If you ain't wear Philly colors, they was definitely screaming at you. You're right about that. Hey, so listen, Jonah, man, it's been a pleasure talking to you, man. Look, keep doing what you're doing. I'm just so very impressed, man, how you just stepped in, like I said, as a rookie, and you've been handling your business up front. Man, keep playing the way you playing, and please stay safe the rest of the season.
Yes, sir. Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's pause 10 seconds for our network stations to identify themselves. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
WJR, Detroit. Text the national keyword change now to 51819 760 WJR, your 25K workday payday station.
More countdown to kickoff coming up. This is Lions Radio.
Paul W. Smith Mornings.
For regular celebrities, there are two terrible days. There's the first day when they go out and everywhere they go, as they walk around, there are cameras shooting pictures of them. And the second worst day, that's even worse than the first day, is when they go out and there's no one there. And let's face it,
that is the truth. Listen to Paul W. Smith. Then stick around for Frank Beckman, Rush Limbaugh, Guy Gordon, and Mitch Albom. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predicted game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Fundraising and advocacy. As you consider your year-end giving, I invite you to join us in our efforts. Learn more at yourchildrensfoundation.org.
News Talk 760 WJR.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Joined now by Lions head coach Matt Patricia as they get set to go on Thanksgiving Day against the Texans. This one brought to you by DTE Energy. Coach, I know a lot of respect for this Houston team coming in, and it starts right at the top with their head coach, Romeo Crennel, who's somebody that's very important to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Romeo's a great coach. He's been doing this for a long time and someone that I certainly look up to and everything that he's done to progress through the coaching ranks. And when he was a defensive coordinator now, just head coaching through the years. So from that standpoint, I know how he wants the team to be and how they're going to play. And it'll be a big challenge for us.
And we've had this conversation before. You better not look at the record. Look at the talent on that roster. And that'll tell you what kind of day you're in for today and what kind of challenge this is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have tremendous amount of talent, and they can really hurt you in a lot of different ways in all three phases of the game, and they're well coached. So from that aspect of it, they're coming off a huge win last week, and we know it'll be a big challenge for us. We got to go out and we got to play well.
Hey, Desean Watson, I loved one thing you said this week when you talked about him. We all know how he moves and what a terrific player he is, but the word you used, calm. When he's on the move, he's calm. He just never seems flustered back there. And that's a great asset to have when you play the way he does.
Yeah, it really is. It's like, when you watch those guys and obviously when you watch him play, he's so calm. It's actually like everything's moving in slow motion for him, and you just kind of marvel at his ability to just dissect all that information, get the ball out, get it to the right player downfield or take off and run. From that standpoint, he's really, like I said, calm all the way through the play and, doesn't ever seem to be, frazzled in any of those situations.
Biggest challenge with a guy like that starts with just keeping him contained. I know easier said than done, but that's one of the big things when you're facing a player like this.
Yeah, it really is. And I think that the thing that he's just improved on is now he's gotten to the level where may give a direction one way and you kind of overplay that and he comes out the other way and gets away from you. So I think he understands how teams are trying to play him. And, he has a great counter to that right now. And that's what just continually, as you watch him mature, just makes it so difficult to play against him.
Is it almost like a pick your poison when you have a Fuller and a Cooks out there that you have to kind of take care of one guy and then hope that you got enough to take care of the other one?
I mean, certainly you have to really deal with both of them, and that can really hurt, put you in a bind here defensively. So from that standpoint, they're both very dangerous and, we're going to have to do our best job to try to contain them.
Offensively, I think you got a group of guys that were dying to get back out there as soon as that game ended on Sunday. Just in talking to some of them, nobody was happy with the way that went. They understood the mistakes that they made. Obviously, as you've alluded to this week, you got to get those corrected. But I got the feeling you got a hungry group going out there when they get the football.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, like everyone, the offensive side of the ball is extremely competitive, just like this team is extremely competitive. And those guys just want to get out there and go play and just go back to work. So you love it. And, we're ready to go do that.
And one of the things to look for maybe early in this game is that balance. We've talked about it. When you guys have been at your best this year, you've been able to run the football at times. Look, if you can't, you adapt, but you certainly go in, like to be able to run it and then work the throw in as well.
Yeah, I mean, certainly you just want to stay balanced. I mean, I think that's the biggest key. And whether you run it early and throw it late or throw it early and run it late, it doesn't really matter. It just has to, at the end of the game, be balanced. And that's something that, we're looking to really try to get done in this game.
Hey, J.J. Watt, you've been studying guys for a long time that played this game. If you were to just kind of give us your view of what has made him so special for so long and so disruptive and so tough to play against, what would it be?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously it's a long list of things he does well. I mean, he's got all the attributes: the speed, the power, the strength, the quickness, the recognition, the smarts. I think what it makes him so amazing is that everybody knows that. Everybody knows that you have to block J.J. Watt, and every single week he still makes these incredible plays that just turn the game. So from that aspect of it, I think that's what's just so impressive, and that's really what defines like a great player is that every week they bring that something that comes to the game that no matter how you try to stop it, they're successful anyways.
Hey, final thing, Coach. When every football fan across the country, Thanksgiving is a part of what they do. But when you come to Detroit and become part of the Lions, it becomes yours. It becomes something that you would have part ownership in. And just thoughts on going out there today and taking part in this NFL tradition.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a huge honor. It's a huge honor for me. It's a huge honor for our team to be able to partake in this and really, start off Thanksgiving. I think that's something that we understand, and it's special to us. And, we understand how hard we got to work to go out there and play well today. And, that's all we want to do. We just want to make it special in Detroit.
Coach, appreciate it. Good luck out there.
Okay, thanks so much.
All right, there he is, Lions head coach Matt Patricia, as they get set to go against the Texans. We're counting you down to kickoff. It's Thanksgiving Day. We'll step aside. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
After the game, come back to WJR for Paul W. Smith Mornings. Frank Beckman, 9 to noon. Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3. Guy Gordon from 3 to 5. And Mitch Albom, 5 to 7. After dark, it's Mark Levin and Michael Savage. Throw in the Lions and Michigan State football and basketball. With apologies to the Detroit Tigers, this is Detroit's best lineup. News Talk 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans, want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Paul W. Smith Mornings.
For regular celebrities, there are two terrible days. There's the first day when they go out, and everywhere they go, as they walk around, there are cameras shooting pictures of them. And the second worst day, it's even worse than the first day, is when they go out and there's no one there. And let's face it,
that is the truth. Listen to Paul W. Smith. Then stick around for Frank Beckman, Rush Limbaugh, Guy Gordon, and Mitch Albom. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. The 25K Workday Payday on WJR is your shot at $100 10 times each weekday between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Just text the national keyword to 95819 for a chance to win. And if you get $100, you're in the running for 25K. Complete details and contest rules at WJR.com. The 25K Workday Payday on 760 WJR is sponsored by Wayne State University, where you're more than strong, you're warrior strong. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Counting you down to kickoff as the Lions get set to go today against the Texans. Happy Thanksgiving. It is a pleasure to welcome in Jim Miller, who is working the broadcast today for Westwood One. Former Spartan in the house. It is great to have you here. First of all, happy Thanksgiving to you.
Well, thanks, Dan. Lomas, good to be with you guys. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there.
All right, so just give us your wide-angle view of the Lions. I know you still live in the area. You work
on the Bears radio broadcast. You're keeping an eye on what's going on in the NFC North. What do you see?
Yeah, I think you see a team with a lot of uncertainty and a team that's trying to fight. I think the NFC side of things are a little bit tougher in order to creep into the playoffs with how the seeding's going right now. But, they have an opportunity here. It's unfortunate they have some guys out due to injury. Now you look at Vitae being placed on IR. There's uncertainty up there on the offensive line. And here, the second half alone, when I rewatched the game, there were 5 sacks in the second half against the Carolina team that didn't really bring a good pass rush all year long. So I think, typically, I've grown up here, like you said, Dan. Lions rise up on Thanksgiving Day, and I'm thinking the Lions have a chance to do that today.
As a quarterback, when you look at this defense, it's a lot of problems this year.
Yeah.
What is going on with the Lions defensively? Because I think if you look at this game today and you look at what we've seen, the body of work this year, Desean Watson scares the heck out of you.
Yeah, he's dangerous with the throw. Obviously, the AFC Player of the Week last week. Here's what I see about the Lions. And, with all the uncertainty about the franchise, there's mandates out there, got to make the playoffs, all that. It's tough to fill a team, in my opinion, with guys who are going to sign, as Lomas would tell you, franchise players that are out there, knowing that the coach may be one and done.
Right.
So I think he was able to sign guys that are familiar with him. The Harmons, the New England Patriots players that believe in Matt Patricia, but let's be honest, guys, these aren't marquee stars. They're not marquee free agents that are out there. Granted, you try to increase the pass rush by Everson Griffin and get him in. He does make it better. But I just have to tell you, to me, they're rentals. That's what they are. They're rentals.
Yeah.
They're not foundational players.
And I think that's one of the problems. And we're talking to Jim Miller here, our NFL Insider, brought to you by Merrill Edge, self-directed. Jim's working the broadcast for Westwood One today. I think that's what Lomas and I have talked about all year. Offensively, they seem built when they're healthy to make some plays. I don't think they've gotten everything out of the offense that they're capable of this year. But defensively, Jim, we're looking for the playmakers, the difference makers. And when Trey Flowers isn't in there, you look and they're not there.
Yeah. And I totally agree with that. And I think that's why they've struggled. They're one of the worst defenses in the NFL at stopping the run. And, even last week against Carolina, I thought Mike Davis was very effective running the football. And again, you got new guys that you're trying to incorporate in there. And I just think it's difficult. And then you have a young player in Jeff Okudah. I saw the big play he gave up last week. He's learning on the fly. I think he's extremely talented. I believe he's going to be out for this game, which is unfortunate. Yeah. Now you're shuffling the deck again on all levels of the defense, and it's hard to play consistently when that happens.
Yeah, Jim, give me your bird's eye view of Matthew Stafford. Such a lightning rod here in this city, but what you're seeing from outside, give me your bird's eye view.
I think he's ultra talented. He's thrown for a gazillion yards. He has led this franchise to 3 playoff appearances. People forget that. He took over an 0-16 team when he arrived here. I compare him to Phillip Rivers. What I mean by that, when Phillip was out with the Chargers, to me, he never had a full deck of cards. What I mean by that, he'd have some receivers. The offensive line wasn't right. He'd lose his running back, LaDainian Tomlinson, so now the running game's lacking, but he's still got Antonio Gates making all these plays. I don't think Matthew has ever had a full deck of cards. We know the running game has always been lacking here. I know I'm encouraged what I see from DeAndre Swift. We know from ESPN he may not even play today. He's unlikely of what's recently being reported, but I'm encouraged to see what he's doing. Still haven't gotten the offensive line settled. Pay Vitae a ton of money. Now he's been benched last week, and now he's out of the lineup. So the offensive line still isn't settled. And now you have your best playmakers now out on the field. And Stafford's out there trying to make a go of it. Galladay is a big piece to this offense. And unfortunately, he's been missing the last 3 weeks and is going to miss this week. So I just don't think Matthew has ever had a full deck of cards.
Yeah. And it, like you say, it's just been a strange year, too. How much does the year, the 2020 pandemic, just all the uncertainty, teams shifting around, having to postpone and how does that affect, or how can that affect a quarterback like a Matthew Stafford or some of these good players?
Yeah, well, I can tell you for the past couple of weeks for Matthew to play, think about it for the listeners out there. He has not practiced. He was in the COVID-19 the week prior. Last week, he didn't practice basically because of thumb. From what I understand, he threw like 9 passes. When I went through that as a quarterback, that's a very unsettling feeling. And it's a very uncomfortable feeling when you're going out on that field expecting to play without practicing and just in your playbook learning the plays. Certainly Matthews played a long time, and I think he made it look pretty easy because that's how talented he is. But like any player, I don't care if you're Matthew Stafford or P.J. Walker, who's an undrafted free agent who was leading the Carolina, you have to be on the field to hone your craft. You have to be on the field to get better.
All right, let's get to some keys to this game as the Lions get set to go against the Texans today. What are some things you're looking for early in the game, Jim, that might indicate how this is going?
I think for the key for the Lions, because they're making some changes up front on the offense line, pass protection conscious. There's no guarantee that you're going to get the running game going because it was a struggle last week against Carolina. It's going to be on the pass protection of Stafford and him making good decisions. Defensively, you got to watch the big strikes by Watson. I was amazed last week watching the New England Patriot game against him. Lomas, there was probably 10 times the New England Patriots had him dead to rights in the backfield. And he got out of it every single time and hit a strike down the field. So when you think you got him in the backfield, you don't. So be careful of really the controlled rush to make sure he doesn't have those escape lanes. That's where Houston is really making a lot of hay in their passing game. It's all on Watson.
Yeah, and for me, Dan, Jim is right. The yards after the catch, not only with the receivers, but the tight ends, those big three tight ends that they have, they are killing people after they catch the ball. So the tackling is going to be real important for the Lions today.
I could not believe how you look at the past couple of years of Darren Fells, the tight end. He was really never really produced in Arizona and Cleveland. He shows up in Houston, and all of a sudden he's making plays, and he's had career highs for him. And then last week, Jordan Akins, he had 3 plays alone in the first half, over 20 yards, and he's a big athletic tight end. All these guys are over 260 pounds that can move.
Final question. Are we expecting a Thanksgiving weekend miracle from the Spartans?
I'm holding out hope, man. I tell you what, I was fortunate to call the Michigan game a couple of weeks ago with Dan here. The Spartans lost bad. The Michigan Wolverines lost bad. I'm like, Dan, it's on you tomorrow to get it done. And you did. You got it done versus the Redskins. So I was like,
but
all
you
right.
and I walked out of that booth thinking, wow, Wisconsin is something else. And then Northwestern, I mean, it's interesting this year to see how this thing's unfolded.
It really is. And I think it tests the coaches of how good your teaching is, like Lomas said, how players are buying in, how they're preparing themselves, because all your itinerary's off. Everything you've ever done that you've known is different this year, and it's who adjusts the best in order that are having success.
Hey, it's a good day for you, man. National radio broadcast, then you get to go home and be with your family on Thanksgiving Day.
Incredible. Hometown, enjoyed growing up. My dad, every year, we watch this from home, and it was a tradition in the Miller household, and hopefully this continues for a long time. Great thing the Lions have done starting this back in 1934.
Awesome. Jim Miller, great stuff, man. We appreciate it. Have a great call.
All right, thanks, guys. You have a good one.
All right, there he is, Jim Miller, who will be calling the game today on Westwood One, along with Ryan Radke. We're going to take a break, come right back. Much more coming up. We're counting you down to kickoff on Thanksgiving Day. It is the Lions coming up against the Texans. This is Lions Radio.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Paul W. Smith Mornings.
For regular celebrities, there are 2 terrible days. There's the first day when they go out, and everywhere they go, as they walk around, there are cameras shooting pictures of them. And the second worst day, it's even worse than the first day, is when they go out and there's no one there. And let's face it,
that is the truth. Listen to Paul W. Smith. Then stick around for Frank Beckman, Rush Limbaugh, Guy Gordon, and Mitch Albom. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Work can be anywhere these days, and nobody does anywhere like Detroit's WJR. Listen on your radio at 760 AM. Stream us at WJR.com or on your phone with the WJR app. Hear us on Alexa and Google Home smart speakers or with the TuneIn app on your radio smart speaker, your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. You can listen anywhere because WJR is everywhere. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
At Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, it's a new day. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Lions Radio 760 WJR.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Counting you down to kickoff. Lions and Texans coming up on Thanksgiving Day. Today's Inactive List brought to you by Oxford Recovery Center, where healing begins. Lomas, this is not pretty. First of all, Hal Vaitai goes on IR this week, so he's not in there. Then you got Kenny Galladay, Jeff Okudah, DeAndre Swift, Mike Ford, Danny Amendola, Austin Bryant, all of them not playing today. When you're on the team and you look around and you see some of your best players not playing, how's that affect you?
I mean, it can affect you in a positive way. It really can't, because you count on those guys. Those are guys that play pivotal roles on your team. You count on those guys to be there. Remember, Dan, they always say your best ability is your availability. Yep. So being out there on the field is real important.
All right, starting lineups brought to you by Wigley's famous Eastern Market corned beef. Remember to ask, is it Wigley's? Let's start with the Lions. On offense, as we mentioned, Kenny Galladay not in there, nor is Danny Amendola, so you will see a lot today of Marvin Jones, Marvin Hall, Quintez Cephas. Sanu will be in there, Mohamed Sanu. These are guys that are going to have to pick up the slack. They got an opportunity.
Hopefully with Mohamed Sanu, hopefully he's a guy, veteran guy that's come in. He can kind of help lead this young group, because like you're saying, Dan, we got young guys there, guys that don't have a lot of experience other than Marvin Jones. So that's going to be a position for us to watch during this game on how productive they can be.
TJ Hawkinson's going to have to step it up today. Matthew Stafford's going to lean on him. You know that offensive line for the Lions. Taylor Decker left tackle. Jonah Jackson next to him. Frank Ragnow the center. Obushi or Dahl, we'll have to wait and see who's in there at right guard, and then Terrell Crosby the right tackle, and they will have their hands full. This Houston defense isn't good by the numbers, but they got playmakers.
They do. You're right about that, especially number 99, J.J. Watt. I'm quite sure Hank Fraley, our offensive line coach, probably is going to have us had a spotlight on J.J. all week long, so I expect us to slide the line or at least do some type of pass protection to where we can protect Matthew, especially against J.J. Watt.
Matthew Stafford, the quarterback, and boy, they got to get something going in that run game. Adrian Peterson, Kerryon Johnson, whomever is in there, they got to find some way to get some balance in this offense. Defensively for the Lions today, Nick Williams will be up front along with Romeo Okwara, John Pennicini, and Danny Shelton. You'll also see Everson Griffin in there. But got to find some way to not just pressure Watson, but contain him.
That's right, Dan. You're exactly right. And I'm not really impressed with this front line of the Texans. I think if our guys come to play, we can apply pressure on Desean Watson, but it's the right type of pressure that you have to put on him because he can't escape.
Linebackers, Christian Jones, Reggie Ragland, and Jamie Collins. You'll see those guys in there. Corners, Desmond Trufant, Amani Oruwariye. Look, they have got big-time players to wideout position in Cooks and Fuller, and you better be ready because they will hit you deep.
And Dan, the thing about it, what we've been talking about, our tackling. Houston makes their hay after they catch the ball, the yards after the catch. If we don't come up and tackle these guys, especially these big tight ends they have, we're going to have a long day on the defensive side of the ball.
And that is the guys on the back end as well. Tracy Walker, Duron Harmon, J-Ron Kearse's been getting a lot of run. You said it, Lo. You got to be sure with your tackling because we've seen too many times this year where they've not been good at tackling, and it just costs you.
It really does. The first guy come up, he's not able to make the tackle. Then they get that extra 2-3 yards that put them in a better situation to convert on third down.
Well, how many times have we seen where they had a chance to get him for a loss, get him behind the down sticks, put him in a negative situation, and they slip the tackle and it becomes a positive play, or on third down, got a chance to tackle him short of the sticks, and they don't do it.
Dan, you're right. Sometimes the coaches unfairly get criticized. They'll dial up the right play, but like you're saying, it's up to the guys on that field to make the play.
Well, today's referee is Sean Smith. Captains are headed out to the middle of the field. We're glad you're with us. Matthew Stafford representing the Lions out there. Desean Watson will be representing the Houston Texans. We'll go through some of his numbers. He has been on an absolute roll of late. He has been terrific, including in the big win over New England last week. Today's Coin Toss brought to you by Ford, built Ford proud.
Welcome, gentlemen, to week 12. First game. Happy Thanksgiving to both teams. Houston being the visiting team, you make the call. This side is heads.